What is up, Buffalo Fanatics? Z-Bot, Rico. It's Rico and Bot on a Friday night on the Buffalo Fanatics YouTube channel, powered by BetUS. Rico, my friend, the Bills haven't played a regular season game in 4.5 months. But Monday's almost here. Bills, Jags right around the corner. How you feeling going into the weekend, brother?
Listen, I feel fantastic. I feel good. Some folks are talking about this game could be a trap game. Trap game, eh? Yeah, don't say. So that's what folks are talking about, whether we want to call this a trap game or not. It's a game that the Bills need to win. It's a game that the Bills need to, solidify what Bills fans and Bills fans alike and Bills fans all over the place and the non-believers, for them to now realize, all right, well, the Bills took down the Jaguars. They're the real deal. Because I've been asking questions. Are we real? I mean, we're 2-0. We took down the Miami Dolphins. We beat them up. We really took care of the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, we shut them down the second half. We were a little shaky at first. But, like, are we for real? Is it too soon to be asking those questions? And this win or this game against the Jaguars, and if we get that win, it really does solidify what the league has been talking about. But I know there's some folks that just don't feel that the Bills are for real, and they feel like other teams in the division are for real. So I mean, we'll talk about that in just a little bit. But I feel good. I feel good about these Bills. I do.
Yeah, the reason I think that people might feel a little less stoked about the Bills this morning is because they feel a little more stoked about the New York Jets and their big old W against those dominant New England Patriots on Thursday night. We'll talk all about the riding high Super Bowl favorite New York Jets during this show as well. You did mention, however, the game in between the Bills and the Jaguars on Monday night and how it's a big game for the Bills. And of course, it's a big game. It's at home. They could essentially eliminate the Jacksonville Jaguars from playoff contention, Rico. And that's why not only is this a big game for the Bills, this is a playoff game for the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is as must-win a football game as you can possibly face. And there are 3 AFC teams going into the weekend, Rico, that you would have thought would be playoff teams going into the year that could potentially be facing their season ending this upcoming weekend. Rico, since 2000, only one team has made the postseason after starting 0-3 since 1979. Only 6 teams have made it going into this weekend, Rico. The Jags are 0-2, facing the Bills, nearly a touchdown underdog. We'll talk about the odds for that in a little bit. The Cincinnati Bengals on the doubleheader Monday night. They have the easiest situation, you'd think, going up against the rookie and Jaden Daniels. They're playing the Washington Commanders. And then the game of the weekend, Rico, I don't know about you. I cannot wait for this one. Your brother's Dallas Cowboys taking on the 0-2 Baltimore Ravens. Rico, if those Ravens go 0-3, they go from the AFC Championship to having about a 2% chance to even make the postseason, and it's not even October yet, brother.
Listen, I remember seeing a stat where every year there's always a team that makes the playoffs, and then you don't hear from them afterwards. And the Ravens, I feel, are just too good for that to happen to them. Now, if they do happen to fall 0-3, because it's very, very possible, you're going to start to hear people ask, is it time to ring the alarm? Ring the alarm. Yo, they're going to start asking for people to ring the alarm because you can't afford to go 0-3, especially if you're in the AFC conference. The AFC conference is way too tough for you to be falling behind. The Chargers look way more improved. They have an actual running game. Don't sleep on them. So watch out, folks. I'm just saying, if you cannot afford to go 0-3, Baltimore Ravens. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys, I mean, that's a whole nother ball game. But the Ravens more specifically, because we faced the Ravens. And shout out to my guy, Ing Ravens. Ring the alarm. I'm telling you, brother. Alarm is already ringing, he says. It's already ringing. 0-2, they're going to start questioning Mr. Lamar Jackson. They're going to start questioning Mr. Harbaugh. They're going to start questioning a whole lot of things about this team. And it's being quiet as kept right now. It's being quiet as kept. But you lose this game, bro, it's going to be all hell in Baltimore. My man in River says, yo, 2 of the best Bills creators out here. Yo, salute to my guy. You know what's good. You know what time it is. But for real talk, though. My man in Ravens, man. You know what time it is, man. Oh, good timing. Ravens talking. Listen, we're going to get together. You know what time it is. But real talk, though, Ravens cannot afford to lose another one. And you're in the AFC North already is a gauntlet. You got Joe Burrow, Joe Breezy. What do they call him? Shiesty? You got the Shiesty guy.
Oh, whatever you want at this point. I've had it. I've had it.
Shiesty Shady saying 0-2. No big deal. No big deal. Lose another one. You're going to talk about big deal. So could you imagine Cincinnati Bengals 0-3, Baltimore Ravens 0-3? Oh, boy, that would be something else. Hey,
bring it on.
Ing Ravens, when the Bills face the Ravens and we have Ravens Bills week, you know what time it is. We're gonna chop it up. You know what time it is. But anyway,
that's next week. That is next week. That is a week from Sunday night on Sunday Night Football. So that's the craziest part about this. And I was talking to my buddy Bobby Baltimore about it. And I said, what's morale like in Baltimore? And he said nothing like starting the year with 2 weeks in a row where the entire fan base is essentially hitting that panic button that you were talking about. And for good reason, Rico. You're a foot away from beating the Chiefs. And no one would expect, you to have an automatic W there. The Ravens didn't play particularly great throughout the duration of that game, still had a chance to either tie it or win it at the end, and they were a foot length away from doing that. This past week was beyond incomprehensible. You have a 10-point lead at home against Gardner Minshew and the Las Vegas Raiders. You can't do anything offensively. You blink, and all of a sudden, oh my God, the Raiders are setting up for the game-winning field goal. Boom, this ball game's over. And they have done that time and time again. These Ravens, who at any given week can be the best team in football by a considerable margin, have also been one of the biggest choke jobs in the league in the past 5 years or so. They've had numerous games going into the fourth quarter with a substantial lead and end up blowing it. If they lose this game, of course, 0-3, I mentioned to you earlier, it's essentially a death sentence on your season. You then take that into a Sunday Night Football game against the Bills. These Ravens, you think it's a must-win game, right, for Jacksonville, or you think it's a must-win game for Cincinnati? It is. But when you factor in on top of it, not only Baltimore and what they did last year, but also the fact that Lamar's a two-time MVP, and like you mentioned, the criticism is going to mount. But then you got to take on the Bills in primetime the week after. I mean, this is much of a playoff game as a game on September 22nd can possibly be. It's the game of the weekend, in my opinion. I also think with the Cowboys on the other end of that, they just got embarrassed by Derek Carr and the New Orleans Saints. I'm talking like showing up to school with your pants not down, off, with no underwear type embarrassed. They have got to get a W here too, Rico. So you got two desperate teams going into that one.
Listen, let me say something. I got to read this, and then I'm going to jump into the point I'm going to make here. So we got Richie Fresh coming in and says, "Yo,
Richie,
you want the Ravens to beat Dallas. You don't want the Bills playing an angry Ravens team in a few weeks." After watching last night's game, Bills going 6-0 in the division. Now, that's a whole nother ballgame. We're going to revisit that. Now, let me get back onto this Ravens. The Ravens face the Cowboys. The Cowboys, like you just said, got absolutely spanked. They got the wooden spoon taken out of the drawer, inspected, the finger point come over here, bent over them, and given to them. The Cowboys are absolutely going to be wanting to avenge. I mean, the performance I don't even want to call it a performance. I don't know what that was against the Ravens. Not only that, then the Ravens face the Bills afterwards, right? Mm-hmm. Let's just say the Bills take care of business against the Ravens. The Cowboys take care of business against the Ravens. The Ravens go 0-4. Then they face Cincinnati after us. Bro, they could go 0-5. It's over with. It's actually over if they actually lose to the Dallas Cowboys. I think it's a wrap. And it's so early. It's wild for me to even say it's over. But you gave me a stat. 0-3. Not many teams can make the playoffs after going 0-3. So Ravens, man, oh man. I'm telling you. By the way, if you guys are just tuned in right now, go ahead and smash that like for my man Z-Bot and for the Rico Bot show. Like I said, Friday night shows are not just about the Bills. It's about the NFL and everything that's going on around the league and beyond. It doesn't have to be just about football. It's about everything. This is why I love doing the power with my man Z-Bot, because we can hit every topic there is under the sun. So here we are. The Bills are 2-0. We got the Jacksonville Jaguars up 0-2. Trevor Lawrence, the most overrated quarterback in my opinion.
He said it. He said it.
Hey, I said it, and I'll say it again. Let me double down on that. overrated quarterback. You don't know what you're going to get with Trevor Lawrence. Are you going to get a 30-yard performance, or are you going to get a 450-yard performance? The 450-yard performance rarely does come with Trevor Lawrence. I'm looking for him to struggle. Christian Benford, Rasul Douglas, these boys are absolutely, they're playing ball. And I hate to say it, I'm gonna be real. I don't see anybody scaring me on that receiver front, right? You lost your speed in Calvin Ridley. So you got Christian Kirk. I'm not saying Christian Kirk's a slouch. He ain't no slouch. You got Ingram. Evan Ingram is beat up. We don't know if he's going to play. He's got a hammy issue he's dealing with. Gabe Davis, you already know what time it is with Gabe Davis. We know. And then you got the rookie Brian Thomas Jr. He's their guy.
He looked good last week. Didn't matter.
He looked good.
He looked good. Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm scared of him. And you're damn right, Talvin Walker. I'm going to say it with my chest. I ain't nothing really scaring me about this this Jaguars offense.
Well, let me back you up on that. Let me say this with my chest real quick, Rico, because I want to back you up on that.
Chest, baby.
Last 8 games, Rico, Jacksonville Jaguars are they've lost 7 of their last 8. Jacksonville Jaguars have been a borderline Carolina Panthers team for the last 8
You didn't go there.
games.
You didn't go there.
7 of their last 8. They've been one of the worst teams in the league in that time span. And you mentioned Trevor Lawrence. Put up or shut up time. It's beyond that. He's already gotten paid. He's 20-32 as a starter. This game, it's beyond saving the season. It might be saving jobs. Doug Peterson's ass could be out on the street, depending on how this one goes. You consider where the Jacksonville Jaguars have been in terms of expectation. And when you factor in that the only thing that they had to show for the Trevor Lawrence experience thus far is a Brandon Staley shit my pants job in the playoffs, that's all they've got. This was supposed to be generational talent, Andrew Luck type talent, John Elway, Peyton Manning type talent. It was the biggest prospect of my life. Caleb Williams is probably up there as of late in terms of expectations for a quarterback right out of college. I don't know if it's still what Trevor Lawrence was, because Trevor Lawrence was winning national championships with Clemson. That wasn't happening with USC. I mean, Caleb Williams, still one of the more hyped prospects of my lifetime. I think Trevor Lawrence still remains the first. And my God, this is getting to the point now. These past 2 weeks, it's not like they just lost. They put up 13 points last week against the Cleveland Browns. And then the week before against the Miami team where the Bills, everybody wants to say, oh, well, Tua went down. No. Do we really have that? Do we already have that type of selective memory? That game was over before the second quarter ended. So give me a break. The Jaguars put up 17 points in that game against the Dolphins, Rico. So this is a game for the Jaguars beyond saving the season. It's almost feeling like it's a legacy type game for maybe Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence, because if you lose this game, I really start to think you start losing a lot of whatever's around the fan base right now in terms of expectation, in terms of belief. I think a lot could go wrong for Jacksonville real quick on Monday night if things go south for them.
And this is why we have to keep the pedal to the metal, right? The metal to the pedal, whatever the way it's set. We can't stop. And what is our saving grace in a way was that 11-day layoff. That those 11 days after the Thursday night beatdown that we gave the Miami Dolphins has given a chance for us to regroup, refresh, heal up, and allow of the most important piece on the offense, Josh Allen, to heal up that left hand. So I'm hoping and waiting for him to dish that left glove that tells me it's go time. It's time to turn it on. But right now, he's been chilling. I mean, he's been chilling since the second quarter of that Miami game.
I know.
Real talk, if we're going to keep it a buck and we're going to say it with our chest, he's been chilling. So right now, I have a feeling. Not only are people talking about, here's a comment here. I saw a comment just not too long ago. The Jags own us. My guy, James, my guy. The Jags own us. They find ways to embarrass us. Now, we are the last 2 matchups we played the Jags. We lost 9-6, right? A game of pure genius offense. And then we lost to the London game. So don't think that the Bills are just going to walk in here thinking they got it. We know that we've lost twice to these guys. 9-6 game and then the game in London. So now what makes thank you, the NFL schedule makers, for making this game a home game for the Bills. So that way we can really truly show you what time it really is. Now, Josh Hines Allen has been a thorn in our side. But also the O-line has been quite dominant these last 2 games. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this shakes out in terms of the trenches. How do we do? Now, I got to give credit to the Cleveland Browns because the Cleveland Browns defense is not a slouch. That's a damn good defense. So putting 13 points up against that team is not not bad at all. But here's something interesting.
Well, I'll just say to that point, though, they held Trevor Lawrence to under a 50% completion percentage in that game. So they were just dominant throughout the day.
They're a really good defense. The Cleveland Browns have a really good defense. But I mean, the last time I checked, the Bills got a really damn good defense.
Oh,
too.
Do they? Oh, do they? Oh, that's
the
great.
Bills got a damn good defense too. So I can give kudos and applaud the Cleveland Browns for a job well done.
Sure.
But I mean, the last time I checked, I mean, we kept the Dolphins to 10 points, and they got lucky with that touchdown they got, right? So we shut down the Arizona Cardinals with Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyler Murray in the second half. So this team is a good team too, well coached with Bobby Babbage. That finally got a great spot on I guess the Bills website. They kind of gave him a great spot with him and his father. I don't know if you saw it, but great touching moment to show love to Bobby Babbage and where he came from and how he's moved up the ranks. So big shout out to them. But interesting nugget. I'm just looking. I mean, it's not really a nugget because everybody can see it. The AFC South is a freaking train wreck.
Yeah,
they're literally handing the Houston Texans this division, and they're going to hand it to them by week 6. Gross.
Yeah.
The 0-2 Colts. I don't know what the hell Richardson is doing out there. AR-50. I don't know what he's doing out there. Throwing 3 picks, inaccurate, less than 50% completion percentage. You got freaking Adonai Mitchell, the rookie, that could be a big star in this game. And who did they just sign? They just signed long-term, the receiver out there. It's not coming to me right now.
The Colts?
Yeah, the Colts receiver. They just signed him to a big time roster, to a big time. It's gonna come to me in just a moment. But anyway, Michael Pittman Jr. So Mike Pittman Jr., Adonai Mitchell, you got Jonathan Taylor. That's good piece. Alec Pierce. Fam,
I thought they'd be pushing for a playoff spot this year, Rico. They were doing it with Gardner Minshew last year. Anthony Richardson's got to clean it up. He's got to clean it up. It's been real rough through the last 2 weeks.
Golly, if Anthony Richards doesn't cut it, they're going to treat him like they treated my man Bryce Young in Carolina and get Joe Flacco off the couch and in the game. Don't let Joe Flacco come out there. He ain't ready to come out just yet. He's chilling right now. So AR-15's got to do something. 0-2 Colt. Then you got freaking Will Levis just turn the ball over left, right, center, looking like young first-year Josh Allen. Knock it off.
Oh, I thought that was an impressive win for the Jets last week. You're dogging it. Oh, I just wanted to make sure I got that right because, we'll save that for later. I got a lot to say about the New York Jets in a little.
We'll save that for later. But anyways, the AFC South. They're handing the games. They're just going to hand the division to the Houston Texans for crying out loud. But I mean, it is what it is. It's early in the season. We'll see how it all shakes out. But for the most part, this AFC South matchup with the Bills and the Jags it's a good one. The Bills have just as much invested in this game to win because they're not trying to go 0-3 with the last 3 matchups with the Jacksonville Jaguars. We got to find a way. Did
you see what Ed Oliver had to say about that same point, by the way? Because they're aware of this. The Bills are aware. They are aware of what we're aware of, and that is, for some weird reason, Jacksonville, it's weird to say they've had their number because it's been only 2 games, but if you say that to anybody who's not a Bills fan, you might be like, well, they've only played them twice. But if you're a Bills fan, you know that when the Bills have played the Jags, even though it's 2 games, there's something odd about it, and it's so funny because we've been feeling that way. We all have been feeling that way.
Yep.
Ed Oliver feels the same way. Here's Ed Oliver talking about the game on Monday night, and I think the way he sums it up here is essentially the way that all of us Bills fans feel about the game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is for courtesy of Cheyenne Labonte, who has this up. I think she might be covering the Jacksonville Jaguars. But here's Ed Oliver talking about the game Monday night.
The Monday game was a weird game. Started very weird.
Pause that for a second.
It was just a very, very weird game.
Pause that for this brother said weird 17 times in this clip.
I know, that's why I love it. Because he's speaking my language.
Oh my gosh. I'm like, say it.
I think that it's because They don't have a way to describe, I think, how they've gone out and played against Jacksonville. It was, but honestly, I think you just summarized it. I was going to play the whole thing, but literally Ed Oliver just continues to go on and say how weird it's been against the Jaguars. But what he also says is that they're well aware of it. And he pretty much said it ain't going to be weird Monday night. Not only are the odds stacked against Jacksonville in terms of how they've looked through the first 2 weeks, Rico, but you already said it. And I think that this is the Jags are in a hell of a tough spot here. Not only is their season on the line, the Bills off 11 days rest off a huge W, right? 11 days rest at home under the lights. This is spelling big trouble for the Jaguars. I mean, I know that these games have been odd. As Ed Oliver said, maybe he could have thrown a couple of adjectives in there for the word weird. But I love that they're aware of it, because you want to know what that tells me, Rico? They have something in their mind going into Monday night that's going to tell them, we ain't letting this one go the way the other two went. We understand how those two went. We're going to make damn sure we don't go down that avenue again. And
I truly believe that it's going to go that way. And I think we're motivated enough to know that, okay, the trenches have been working. The defensive front has been pushing people around. The offensive line has been pushing guys around. So this is going to be obviously a battle of the trenches. Who wants it more at the end of the day? That's what it's going to come down to. It's always about who wants it more. So far, the Bills have shown that they want it more. They faced an Arizona Cardinals we knew nothing much about. 70% chance of rain on Monday. Run the ball. Run the ball is what it's going to be. And I was just going to say,
isn't it crazy, Rico, that when you see that now, it almost instills more confidence in you, the way that this team's been playing offensively? You used to see that and be like, oh, that might disadvantage the Bills in terms of what they want to do. Not anymore. That's advantage Buffalo now, which is crazy to say, but it's the truth.
Well, I'll tell you this. You played a clip of Ed Oliver talking about the Jaguars game, and you bring this up and you say, isn't it weird that we're going to run the ball? Even Louis Riddick was like, the Bills have an identity. I don't know if you saw that clip. They have an identity. And this is the opposite of what the Jags don't have an identity. The one guy that you depend on to go, the one guy, the leader that you want to move the ball and get going, the best player on the squad, is inconsistent. And that's Trevor Lawrence. You don't know what you're going to get with Trevor Lawrence. If you are a fantasy player and you have Trevor Lawrence as your quarterback, abort. He ain't going to give you diddly squat. I mean, watch him light up the Bills, but I highly doubt it's going to happen. But nonetheless, the point I'm trying to make is you have the consistent and identity found Bills where you didn't quite know what you got in the Bills. Were they an air raid team, or you now clearly know we're going to run the rock. We ain't going to stop. And if I need to break glass and put the cape on, Josh Allen will do that. But right now, he's chilling. And we are starting to show that we have an identity. And the identity is to let you know that we are balanced. We will run the football. And if you can't stop it, we'll keep running the football. It's no different than playing Madden against a player that just can't stop that one play that you have. And if it's the pitch right, or if it's a off tackle right, and you bring you motion in the receiver over this way, you shift your line over this way, and they just can't stop it, keep running it until they stop it. And that's exactly what's going to take place. I hope that's what is going to take place. And most people want to say, oh, Rico, you scared. Nah, man, ain't nobody scared. Ain't nobody scared. I like to give respect to the other squad, but I feel confident what the Bills are going to do to the Jags. And they know it. They should know it. Especially with Ed Oliver talking about it. The whole team knows what's going on. So we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out.
What do you think the Bills are favored by in that game?
Oh, this is interesting because I haven't looked at the lines whatsoever.
Oh, you haven't? So I'm very interested to see what you think here.
So, the Jags 0-2, Bills 2-0 off of that big game against the Dolphins 11 days ago. And they're at home. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say the Bills are favored by 5.5. Because they're going to give a little bit of respect to the Jags.
You are one sharp mother effer. The Buffalo Bills are a 5.5 point home favorite on BetUS right now.
5.5.
When you think about it, though, Rico, this is almost the same line in which they were a favorite against the Cardinals. And this is before we knew what the Cardinals could potentially be. And how much better does that W look, by the way, after what they just did to the Rams over the weekend here. But this is what they're kind of viewing the Jacksonville Jaguars to be right now. They're viewing them as about a touchdown less than what the Buffalo Bills are. And I think that's fair up until this point. Over under a 45.5. So they're thinking that this game could be somewhat high scoring. But 5.5 point favorites are the Buffalo Bills right now at home on Monday night. And you have to think, Rico, that if the Jags would have just pulled off one of those W's, that would have been a bit less than that. I still like the 5.5, by the way. I think the Bills, at the way that they've been playing, the way Jacksonville's offenses look, I don't know where the points are going to come from. It couldn't come from Miami. It couldn't come at all in the second half for an Arizona Cardinals team who is dominating the LA Rams for a full 60 minutes. So if you like the 5.5, by the way, promo code YouTube 150, 150% bonus up to $2,000 on your first deposit, 125% bonus on your next two after that. YouTube 150 over on BetUS. I think 5.5 points, Rico. I don't know about you. Are you laying that with the Bills on Monday night? Is that where your confidence is at, or do you think the Jags?
You know what? I think they went 5.5 to not disrespect the Jaguars, because if they could have easily said, you know what, I see the Bills with an 8.5 spread, then that would have been like, yo, that's disrespect. I don't know what you're saying, but I'm gonna take that as disrespect. If you guys know what line that movie's from, y'all should know and let me know. But I'm gonna take that as disrespect, right? If the line was at 8.5, 5.5 keeps it within a touchdown, so it's gonna be close. But y'all are giving them the win, because a home team you should get 2.5, give or take.
3, depending on the team. So yeah, they're saying that with the home field in mind, the Bills are about double that in terms of the advantage that Vegas thinks that they currently have on the Jags. And look at the Bills. If it weren't for a kick return, I think it would have been a double-digit win over Arizona, and then they beat Miami by 21. And in 2 games, think about it like this, Rico. In each of their 2 games, the Bills have scored 31 or more. In 2 games combined for the Jacksonville Jaguars, they've yet to score 31 total. So that's what these two teams are bringing into Monday Night Football.
That's exactly what it is. So, I mean, I don't want anybody to say I'm going to take this as disrespect, but 5.5 points, yo, you guys got a 40-year-old virgin. Kevin Hart was like, yo, you using a lot of whole big words. I don't know what you're saying, but I'm going to take that as disrespect. Anyway, so whether the Jags want to take it as disrespect or not, yo, you coming to Buffalo, man. It's a home game. Like, we didn't treat home games last year as we should have. I think we've squandered a lot of home games this year, last year. This year is a time that it's time for us to kind of, you know what I mean, take it back, man. We got to take the block back, is what they want to say. Yo, let's take our block back, man. We can't give these games up to home games, especially to the Jaguars. We went across the pond. Weren't we considered the home? No, they were considered the home game. We went across the pond to play them. I was effed up. Now you're coming back to our house. We got to take care of business. So that I am waiting for. I'm absolutely waiting for. I can't wait for it.
Somebody on Twitter, by the way, said that if the Bills can find a way to get over their seemingly annual not dismantling, but like just complete no-show against the Jags, that's when you know this team's different. So maybe that's the sign, Rico. Monday night, we know these Bills are different if they wind up getting it done against Jacksonville.
I mean, listen, it sounds crazy to me, but the season's only 2 weeks old.
I know.
It's 2 weeks old. But it feels like it's a lot older than 2 weeks. We're already calling teams that they're going to miss the playoffs. We're already crowning certain teams. I mean, are we talking too soon about these Bills and how good they can be? Or should we pump the brakes? I'm going to ask you that. Should we pump the brakes a little bit on these Bills? Is 2 games enough of a sample size for us to say, yo, these boys are for real?
If the Jets can be considered real after winning 24-3 against the New England Patriots, the Bills can be considered real after beating the Cardinals and the Miami Dolphins by scoring more than 30 points in each game. Defense looking great in both games outside of the first half for Arizona, which many would argue would be a write-off in terms of getting things off on the wrong foot with a preseason type setting in the first half for a lot of these teams. I think that, yeah, all of these teams should have a foot somewhat near the brake pedal in terms of expectations through 2 weeks. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and act like through the first 2 weeks, the Buffalo Bills haven't played some of the best football in the league. And I'm not also going to act like 0-2 doesn't mean something. We just said how much it does mean. That's why the NFL, we talk about expectations this early in the league, way earlier than any other league, because it matters. I was talking about this with my buddies the other day, Rico, about playoffs. And I was saying how much I wanted Baltimore to lose this weekend and how happy I'd be if all 3 of them lost, Baltimore, Jacksonville, and Cincinnati. And one of my buddies was like, we're already talking about playoffs. Brother, You're damn right we are. If they lose this weekend, there's no playoffs in sight for those teams. That's how crazy the league is. I think that's why, Rico, it feels like the season's been around for longer than 2 weeks, because at the end of the day, the reality in the NFL is it only takes 2-3 weeks to make or break a season. And some of these teams through the first 3 weeks can break their season before October even swings around.
It just seems just wild, but it is. And I think what's making it feel this way is the teams that were supposed to compete, the teams that were supposed to be the big deals are the ones that were like, what the hell? 0-2 Ravens? What? 0-2 Jacksonville Jaguars? I thought they were supposed to put things together. They got a receiving squad. They bolstered the O-line. They bolstered the offense. They should be doing something. What? The Bengals are 0-2? I thought Joe Burrow was the second best quarterback in the league. Man, knock it off. Who was it? Mina Kimes? I don't know if it was Mina Kimes. I think it was Mina Kimes. Mina Kimes was talking about the differences between quarterbacks, and I don't want to jump around too much, but I'm saying these teams that are 0-2 that we thought were going to do great and they're struggling right now, it's I'm not saying it's time to panic, but it's really time to put the eyeglass on and be like, all right, let me take a look at what's really going on with this roster and flip these pages, because this is not doing it. But Mina Kimes mentioned it. She was like, Josh Allen is top 5 in like 3-4 categories, while Joe Burrow is like number 15. He's number 10 over here. Bro, I don't want to hear nothing about Joe Brady. I don't want to hear nothing about Joe Shiesty, Joe Burrow being the second best quarterback in the game. That's it. And I hate that we're saying second best, because we already know who's number 1 right now, and you got to give their credit. I ain't want to hear nothing about that. Josh Allen is that dude. He's second best right now, and he's knocking on that door to be.
He is the. I'll just say right now, through this year, he is the best right now. He's playing far superior football to Patrick Mahomes through 2 weeks. Mahomes looked bad this past week. That was about as bad of a game. That might have been the worst game I've ever seen Mahomes play.
Really,
the craziness of the league, Rico. Right now, the best quarterbacks in the league. Okay, Josh Allen. Everybody would assume that. Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Derek Carr are probably in a 3-way tie right now for MVP alongside Josh Allen on the other side of that. It's an insane league, and we expect it to change as the weeks go on here. But she's 100% right in saying that the quarterback play has reflected a lot of these teams' poor starts. Go and take a look. The top of quarterbacks in the league right now that you'd expect to be that have not lived up to the billing. The Chiefs are 2-0 despite the fact that last week, that was the lowest yards Mahomes had ever had in a game where he did not get injured. And he also had 2 interceptions. They still won the football game. That, to me, just emphasizes how dangerous the Chiefs are more than it shows their weaknesses, because they can still beat the Bengals in a game where they had no business winning it, and Mahomes doesn't play well. But the point still remains, and that's the quarterback play right now. The gap between what Josh Allen has shown and other guys have shown is quite large. And the crazy thing is, Rico, Josh Allen really hasn't been expected to do a whole lot either through 2 weeks. I mean, last week he barely threw the football at all. Like you said, he's been on rest since the second quarter of that Dolphins game. So he's basically got 12 days in his bag right now in terms of rest. So the Josh Allen gap, by the way, Monday night on a you know how much primetime narrative swing things. Josh Allen dominates Monday night against the Jags, and then they go into a Sunday night game against the Ravens, Rico, and he plays well. You're going to start seeing Josh Allen separate dramatically in the MVP race, something I told you to look out for before the season started, because I said I thought this year was the best opportunity for Josh Allen to win an MVP. 2 weeks from now, 2 weeks. If Josh Allen plays as well as he has, he will be the overwhelming favorite to do it.
It's looking pretty good right now. I mean, and he's going to be amongst good company, because right now I'm looking at the top quarterbacks in the game, and I'm simply going by week 2 only, because I mean Aaron Rodgers got a bump on everybody else. But when it comes to completion percentage, number 1 in the game right now is Gordon Minshew with the 1-1 Ravens. Then you got Derek Carr with the 2-0 Saints at 77%.
Carr is balling, dude.
Buddy, Jaden Daniels with the 1-1 Commanders at 75%.
That's impressive for a rookie.
Yo, listen, Gino at 74, and then you got Josh Allen completing 74% of his. I'm rounding up here, 74% of his passes. Listen to this. Look at this. Average yards per pass. Josh Allen, with the way he's been playing, which he's been playing great, but he hasn't been putting up gaudy numbers. He's giving you almost 9 yards a pop right now. 9 yards a pop. Number 1 right now is Derek Carr, which is killing it. Then Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, and then you got Josh Allen.
There you go.
What's going on? So it's gonna be fun to watch our guys go. But here's the biggest thing: what I love about what's going on with Josh. No interceptions. No interceptions.
Yep.
That's what I love, and I want that to continue. If he can give me less than 8 interceptions for the year, bro.
Dude, he gives us less than 8. I think that hell might freeze over. That's kind of where we were mentally, right? Less than 8. That's Aaron Rodgers type, like prime, right? In terms of not turning the ball over, that would be wicked.
That's exactly what type of ball. I mean, listen, 10 interceptions, fine. I'll give him that. But
That's
if
my
we can get
threshold.
under 8, we'll be. I think we'll be all right. I think we'll be doing great things. By the way, we got Ravens for Life saying talking MVP in week 2.
We're
Hey,
just
man,
trying to be like you guys. We're just trying to be like you guys, Ravens for Life. That's all. We're just trying to match your energy, brother.
Yo, get his ass. I don't want to hear nothing about you guys talking about MVP talk. You guys robbed the NFL of having a true MVP by giving, Ravens for Life, we already talked about this. Him and I had a heart-to-heart where he admitted my quarterback should have never got the MVP. I admit that. And we'll leave it at that. But don't you come in here talking your ish. Don't you come in here talking ish.
That's the first Ravens fan I've seen admit that, by the way. So good for you for getting that out of him. Good for Raven for Life being honest. But let's be honest here, Raven for Life. Through 3 weeks, I'd rather be talking about the MVP than my season ending. Let's see what you got against the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday, and we'll talk Monday, and then maybe things.
You just did there. You gave me a bit of a Trumpish. Their season ending. You kind of give me that. I like that.
The Ravens season could end Sunday. It could be over. Meanwhile, the Bills, best in the league, right? We'll see what happens. I'll tell you what, I cannot wait for that Ravens game. I mean, that to me, that's appointment television Sunday. Clear the schedule, lock in on that one because, once again, this is why the NFL. I mean, if you don't like it, I think that there's got to be something legitimately wrong with you because this is actual playoff type football on a Sunday in September. Rico, it's the best.
Listen, I'll take it. I like where the league is going right now. I mean, anytime that the Bills are 2-0, we'll take it. We'll absolutely take it. But speaking of teams,
take it for granted. Well, just based on the one thing you should take away before we put this conversation away, Rico, that right there, what you said is exactly the takeaway. The Bengals, who would have thought the Bengals and the Ravens wouldn't be at least 1-1 when they had the Raiders on their schedule and the Patriots on their schedule? 2-0. I don't care if you're Seattle, who people are like, oh, maybe it's not the greatest 2-0. You beat New England in overtime, whatever. I don't care if that's your 2-0. If you beat the Chiefs I don't care. Fill in the blank. The Lions, the best teams in the league. I don't care. 2-0 is 2-0. And by the way, I'll say it again. The Bills got less credit. I think they got less credit for beating the Cardinals than I think the Bengals got dinged for losing to the Patriots. What I mean by that is it felt like the Bills got discredited more for beating the Cardinals than the Bengals got discredited for losing to the Patriots just because the Bills didn't look good in the first half. How about those Cardinals now? I know the Rams are all banged up. That doesn't mean you go out and win 41-10 like they did. The offense for the Cardinals couldn't do anything for about 40 minutes of football against the Bills. They looked like the greatest show on turf this past Sunday. That win looks more impressive, and the Bills outright embarrassed and destroyed the Miami Dolphins. So I know it's only 2 weeks, but I don't think you could have signed up, Rico, when you knew the uncertainty that we had surrounding this Bills team. You could not have signed up for anything better than what you've seen through 2 weeks.
You're absolutely freaking right. By the way, we got Richie Fresh coming in and says, you guys are firing me up. Give me Sunday night NFL anthem. He wants that music. I don't know if we got that queued up. Yo, listen, don't get me hyped up now, Richie. Don't get me hyped up now. Can we get into some other talk here?
Sure.
Because I feel that you're refreshed. You had a nice nap. You know what I mean? Stretch that bitch out, man.
Let me get limber for this one.
Get limber. You need to stretch around. So before I'm gonna set my boy Bot up just a little bit because there's conversations happening with these Jets. Now, I seem to have respect for the Jets more so than the Dolphins. I respect the Jets more than I respect the Dolphins. The Dolphins, I don't even hate the Dolphins. I don't hate. How could you hate someone that you mistreat every time you see them? You feel sorry for them. And that's how I feel about the Dolphins. The Jets, on the other hand, they've been a thorn in my side. And they continue to be a thorn in my side. And then you have that jackass, jagoff, whatever you want to call him, Aaron Rodgers, with that exchange he had with his head coach. That makes me just hate the Jets even more. Now you have people talking about Peter Schrager talking about
Schrags.
the Shragster. You got. I mean, listen. Before we even get into a Peter Schrager, right? I gotta play this clip real quick, just to set my guy Bot up because I feel like the floor is gonna be his for a moment, and but I gotta get this. I gotta get this out here because the one thing I don't like is disrespect. I don't like disrespect. I don't like people that are disrespectful. I mean, respect your elders, all that good stuff. Respect people in high authority. That's how I feel. Unless you obviously doing something that's crazy and wild, that's the way I feel about it. And if I can just find my damn thing here, then I can play it. But if you guys were watching the Monday night matchup, let me just share my screen. Why this idiot has to act the way he does, and I'm referring to Aaron Rodgers. Look at this. They score, they're up 14 points, and takes his coach off, and then walks away and stares him down. Nah, bro, that's fighting words right there. Whatever the hell you said to me, I can't read lips. I don't know what he's saying, but you can't look at me and push off like that. I'm trying to embrace you. We just scored, and you're gonna shove me off. And look, pay attention to my guy here. He gets shoved, and he goes down, looks him up, and says, "What the hell was that?" But he's got to continue to be a coach. But this guy right here, bro, he makes me hate the Jets even more. Even more. I don't really care about the extracurricular stuff that he does off the field. It's this shit that drives me nuts. So, without further ado, let my guy Bot go in on these fools because I don't know, man. This drives me absolutely nuts. How do you feel about Aaron Rodgers? How do you feel about these Jets? And how do you feel about Peter Schrager coming out here and saying, I don't care that the Jets are what they're doing now, but I still have them winning I don't know if I don't want to. I'm paraphrasing it. Winning the division, or was it winning the AFC? Which was it?
Winning the AFC.
Shame.
How bad's my internet right now, by the way?
What's that, buddy?
How bad's my internet, by the way, right now?
Your internet is all right. It's coming in and coming out, almost like a.
There might be one thing on the planet right now that I dislike more than the New York Jets, and it's my internet provider. I've had this guy out to the house now 3 times. I'm done. After this, I'm calling. Done with him. Canceling.
Who you calling? Who you gonna call?
I'm gonna call the Internet Busters. Internet Busters. Call these guys. Shut it down. Shut this shit down. I've had it. I have had it. I might send him this clip here. Unbelievable. Sorry, Kim.
You're coming back strong.
All right, I know. I'm coming back strong now.
You're coming back strong now.
They're watching. They got their finger on the button. These assholes. I've had enough of them. But you want to know who I've had enough of? You want to know who I've had enough of as we get back here to decent internet?
Talk to me.
I've had enough of these New York Jets. I've had enough of these New York Jets to last me a lifetime. I think I've had enough of these New York Jets more than I've had enough of seeing Jason Kelce on commercials. I can't turn my TV. All of a sudden, Jason Kelce now, is he more famous than Tom Cruise? I don't know what's going on, but I can't turn my TV on right now without seeing 2 things. One, the Jets once again being anointed as the best team in sports. 2, Jason Kelce trying to sell me something. I got to just stop turning my TV on. Good thing I'm calling my internet provider after this, Rico, because I might not turn on the internet again. I might just cancel my internet and never go back online again.
Don't do it, Bot. Don't do it.
I can't stop seeing this stuff. It's all I see. But, Jason Kelce seems like a decent guy. I don't know if I can say the same for the New York Jets. Nothing's really decent about the New York Jets, in my opinion. Let's talk about right now where the internet, or excuse me, not the internet. Let's talk right now about where the New York Jets are mentally after this dominant victory over a New England Patriots team that we all had the highest expectations for. Right? The New York Jets. Or excuse me, the New England Patriots. Let's have a look at what the expectations are for the Jets now after that dominant win over a team in New England where the expectations couldn't be higher. Here's Aaron Rodgers after the ballgame.
That hasn't had a lot of celebratory nights like tonight. How do you try to normalize this?
If it's expectations, if the expectation is winning, then we're going to celebrate it, but we should expect to win. The next step is expecting to dominate.
No. You haven't made the playoffs in going on 2 decades. I don't understand how the expectation from one victory over the New England Patriots and a win last week against Will Levis, who threw the ball 10 yards backwards to propel you to a victory, all of a sudden has you in the mentality now that you go from the expectation being winning, which it hasn't been the expectation in New York, outside of a Buffalo, of course, for the last 15 years. And now all of a sudden, the Patriots, who had about 95 yards of total offense going into the final half of the fourth quarter when Drake May came in to basically get destroyed to end that ball game. I don't understand how all of a sudden we see the New York Jets not even 2 weeks ago get ran out of the building by the San Francisco 49ers, who, mind you, got ran out of their own building by Sam Darnold and the Minnesota Vikings, which at the end of that game did not have Jordan Addison, did not have Justin Jefferson. Sam Darnold put that game on ice with a bunch of no-names in Minnesota. That same San Francisco team dismantled the Jets in week 1. But all of a sudden we forget about that and we turn the page to focusing on a win against the Will Levis-led Tennessee Titans. I don't know if you've seen anything coming out of Tennessee, by the way, Rico. I've never seen someone disrespect someone more. Maybe you'll watch it right now as I disrespect the Jets. But I don't think you've ever seen someone disrespect anyone more than the Tennessee Titans head coach has disrespected Will Levis. They can't stand him. They can't stand what he's doing for this organization, and that's turning the ball over and throwing ball games away. They did that against the Jets last week. It was 7-0 with about 2 minutes left in that first half. It would have been wider if Will Levis didn't pitch the ball backwards on the Jets' 10-yard line.
Why?
The Titans could have easily won that game, but the Jets get out of there alive. They then go into a Thursday night football game against the New England Patriots team. Can we be honest? If we're going to be honest about one thing, it's that the New England hype was inflated. I think people thought all of a sudden New England could be better than we thought because they beat Cincinnati, who has perpetually bad starts to the season every year. And then they beat they lose to Seattle in overtime. The Patriots are not a good football team. If there's one thing you take away from last night, it's not that the Jets are dominant. It's that the New England Patriots are as bad as we thought they'd be.
Yeah.
They came into this year, Rico, with an over-under of 4.5 wins. That is as bad as it can possibly get in the NFL. And they already have one. They were close to 2 against Seattle. They were due for a game where they were going to look bad. And last night they looked really bad. Despite the fact that they looked as bad as they did, wouldn't you have imagined that the Jets, despite winning by 21, I'm not going to discredit the fact that they did end up getting the win in a fashion that you would expect against a team that you are a 6-point favorite against. Right. But the Jets had over 40 minutes of possession time in this game. The Patriots barely had the ball, and they couldn't move the ball at all. Like I said, they had less than 100 yards before garbage time. They only scored 24 points, and some of those points came off of a fumble late where the ball was given to the Jets right into field goal territory. The Jets offensively, Aaron Rodgers looked phenomenal last night. But what you've seen through 3 weeks, is that a team right now that is warranted of getting the expectations that they're getting from the national media? My problem has never been the fact that the Jets were going to be better, because it was inevitable the Jets were going to be better. With Aaron Rodgers, how could you not be better? And this team is young and talented. I've never said that the Jets should not be better. I've always said they should be competing for a playoff spot. That's never been my gripe. My gripe has been the fact that these New York Jets, who have not done anything since I was in middle school, are being touted as one of the best teams in the league to start the season, get immediately blown out by the Niners, and then a narrow margin victory over a Titans team that looks like they can't help but piss themselves weekly, and a Patriots team who's going to finish bottom 4 in this league. They're back to where they were 3 weeks ago. Here's Peter Schrager this morning doubling down on his preseason take that the Jets were going to be the best team in the AFC and that Aaron Rodgers was going to win the MVP. Here's the doubling down, and his reasoning for this is because of last night and what this shows him moving forward in terms of what we can expect for the New York Jets. Here's Peter Schrager from Good Morning Football this morning.
I have Rodgers as my MVP. After 1 week was lambasted, I was considered a fool, and no mulligan. Let's see how this goes. They're just getting started while other teams have been with the same folks for years and have a whole season ahead. I think the Jets are still going to be the top team in the AFC.
Let me play that one more time for that little part right there. Just go grab a Q-tip, clean your ears out, just so you can hear this with 100% clarity. Play the last couple of seconds here.
Are still going to be the top team in the AFC.
Yeah, I heard that.
Okay. My problem, and it's going to come across, I'm going to come across the Jets hater. Fine. If I'm going to be labeled anything and it's that, fine. Just tattoo it on me.
Say it with your chest, Bot. Say it with your chest now.
It's never been, the problem has never been. The Jets have competed with the Bills as good as anybody has in that division since Tom Brady has left. The New York Jets have defended the Buffalo Bills better than anybody in this entire league. And like you said, I have more respect for their ability to compete with the Bills than I do for the Dolphins, unarguably. This is not what it's about. It's about the fact that for whatever reason, I've never seen anything like this. I cannot wrap my head around it. This team, they get the benefit of the doubt for doing absolutely nothing. They sign Aaron Rodgers, who looked mediocre at the end with the Green Bay Packers. They sign Aaron Rodgers. That immediately made this team a Super Bowl favorite in everybody's eyes. He misses the whole year. Now he's 40 years old off an Achilles tear. That once again made everybody think that this team was a Super Bowl caliber team. They haven't made the playoffs in 15 years. Then, after a drubbing against the Niners in week 1, they get 2 wins. The over-under for Seattle, Rico, was 6.5 going into the year. Or excuse me, for the Tennessee Titans. I keep getting those two confused. The over-under for the Tennessee Titans was 6.5. The over-under for the New England Patriots was 4.5. Upcoming here, and this is why I'm talking about this even more now.
That's right.
This is going to continue to happen. They're playing the Denver Broncos, who they're going to beat because they're not good right now. They're just not good. With a rookie quarterback, the Denver Broncos can't do a whole hell of a lot. If you have a decent defense, it's going to be your day. The over-under for the Denver Broncos was 4.5. So you now have wins against 2 teams that were projected to be well below 500.
Right.
Now it's not, hey, you know what? Great bounce back for the Jets. If I was hearing this, if it was great bounce back for the Jets these last couple of weeks, really didn't look good against San Francisco, looked okay against Tennessee, really looked good against New England, building blocks, I start to expect them to be in the mix and start competing. It's not that. It's, what did I tell you? Aaron Rodgers, preseason MVP. I didn't say anything when he got on me week 1, but now look at it now. Who's talking now? Really carved up that Patriots D that looked like my middle school JV team out there last night. Oh, and then that defense, poor Jacoby Brissett. My God, I hope the insurance policy that he took out on these New England Patriots is as high as it possibly gets. They're going to get that man killed out there. That's how bad New England is. New England last night looked as bad as I've seen a team play in some time. Yes, the Jets took advantage of it. But how is the result of that? How is the result of that? This team is going to win the AFC and Aaron Rodgers is going to win an MVP. It's not that the Jets aren't going to be competitive. It's not that they're not going to be better, Rico. The craziness to me is that it takes next to nothing for this team to all of a sudden be back in everybody's good graces in terms of being one of the best teams in the entire conference, a team that people should be looking up at when all they've done for the last damn near 2 decades is look up at everybody else. This doesn't prove anything to me at all. The New England Patriots are supposed to lose this game. The Titans are supposed to lose this game. Let me know what you think about these Jets when they play a decent team and then they look like this. Have that talk then. But until then, Rico, this to me is utter lunacy and I can't wrap my mind around it.
Well, wrap your mind around this. All right. These Jets, you have to understand. The NFL needs this. They need an Aaron Rodgers and the Jets because, listen, like you said, the Jets haven't made the playoffs in umpteen years. So this would be a new thing, right? The savior to this. I mean, how long have the Jets been looking for a quarterback since Sanchez? Sanchez gave them hope. I think that's the last time they were in the playoffs, right? Did they make the playoffs?
Was the AFC Championship. The last time they were in the playoffs, they were in the AFC Championship with Mark Sanchez.
There you go. And they've been searching for a way to get back into those playoff graces since. Last year was supposed to be their chance. And down goes Rodgers. Rodgers is back. So they got to prop these guys up. And you know how it is, man. You got to make predictions at the beginning of the year. Who's going to be your guy? Who's not going to be the guy? So Schrager picked them to do well. And he's got to stay on that boat until they really come down. But here's the deal. It's good for the NFL when the Jets are good. It is. It's just what it is. They're a hated team. J-E-T-S, Jet, all that jazz.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh
you
my.
need it. It makes NFL great. The NFL is great when the Bills are good. When the Bills are good, the NFL is great. You just need those things. And now you have the Bills as the good guys. I say the Bills are good guys, and you have the gang green as the bad guys, bro. Sometimes you root for the villain. Sometimes you root for the villain, and some people are rooting for the villain right now. Root for the villain. Can we just be done with Fireman Ed? I didn't even know Fireman was still around.
I got to buy. Who did? Came out of the woods when Aaron Rodgers came back. Matt, I got to buy you a beer. There's some sounds on the planet. Like if you hear a screeching, if you hear a help or something, that's terrifying, right? It's not nearly as terrifying as hearing these two things. Jets, Jets. And not only that, it's worse. If you go to the stadium, this is to me unequivocally the worst thing in sports. Every time the Jets get a first down, which up until last night, not quite often. Every time the Jets get a first down, this is what the PA announcer says, and this is what the stadium says back. And that is a Jets first down. Buddy, that could invoke someone. If you heard that driving a car, that could invoke you too.
That is a Jets.
You could just find yourself driving into a wall, and you wouldn't even know what happened, just to keep yourself from hearing it.
So let me tell you something. I went to this was years ago. I had a buddy of mine, Joseph Pekelski. All right, we worked together a little bit, and him and his buddy are Jets fans. And they say, "Hey, man, come on through and watch the game with us at our place, and let's have a good time. We'll have wings, we'll have this, we'll have that." I said, "You know what? I prefer to watch the games. I don't know about you guys. I prefer to watch the games by myself in my home, big screen TV. I can yell at the TV if I want to. If my team is doing great, I'm yelling." Either way, I'm yelling for good or bad.
This, Rico. What sounds better? Big screen at your house on the couch in pajamas watching football with Jets fans. Just want to see how you want to weigh that one out.
Well, here's the crazy thing. So I'm at my man Joe's house, and we hanging out, we chilling, and the Bills are losing, right? And every freaking time there's a first down, you just gave me PTSD. They'd go, and that is a Jets. And
they were doing it at their house.
Would go first down and then get up. Boom, and high five each other like this. I can't be watching this all day. So that made me hate the Jets even more. And now Aaron Rodgers over there, now they're talking about it. And now you just saying all this, that is a Jets first down. You just got Joe Pekelski in my damn ear.
They were doing it in their own living room,
bump chest, high five, and then stare me down. I was like, oh man, I can't wait for this shit to be over.
Did you just get up and leave? Because if that, I'm shocked you're not behind bars right now.
Gentlemen, I waited to the end, and listen, I don't shy away from free food. Free food is there. I'm a eat, fill my belly, and I'm out of here. I ain't leaving free food just because these guys are fist bumping, a high fiving, and looking me down. And no. Let me finish my food and take my L and walk on home. You know what I mean? But yo, that is just first down. No, I can't have that. Can't have that.
That Red Furnace is saying exactly what I was just thinking. That'd be like me and my dad, and every touchdown we'd be like, hey, and then my dad starts singing it back to me, and I sing it back to him. Like, that's just pathetic. That's pathetic. I mean, your buddy Joe sounds like a nice guy. He invited you into his home and fed you. He seems like a nice guy. It's unfortunate for him that he's a guy. It's not his fault. It's not his fault.
I mean, it's him and his buddy that's into that stuff. But that is a just first down business. I can't. But you know what I do love? When it's third down at a Bill Stadium.
Oh,
that train comes and everybody goes on the seats.
It's third down.
Everybody's hitting the seats. Yo, that shit gets me hyped. That's what I'm talking about. So that is just first down. That's weak shit. You gotta come to a Bill Stadium when we can really get it going. And when that touchdown goes out, you hear beep, 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 the Bills, baby.
You get the Seven Nation Army on the kickoff. There's just some things that are done better than others. And we just gave you like 6 examples.
You just gotta be pumped up when you said that.
You know, it's up there, Rico, with the Miami Dolphins. I mean, like, what are we doing? It sounds like a song from the 1920s. We gotta get something. I mean, come on.
And now the Eagles chant. Are you good with the Eagles chant?
Which one?
The Eagles.
Fly Eagles. The Fly Eagles fly.
Yeah, exactly. I
like that. I like that a lot.
The Jets, get out of here with that. We ain't messing with that. Anything Bills related, yo, that's fire. The shout song that we have, third down, the do. I'm telling you, that shit gets to be high, man. Anyway,
that shit sounds like Beethoven's Fifth when the Bills are kicking off after like their 6th touchdown of the game. Like when that was playing against the Patriots in the wild card a couple years, I was like this. I was like, I was like this doing that against the Patriots when they were up the perfect game there. When you hear that song and think everything's
Game
going
over.
right on the day, like I was at the Cowboys game last year when they were just beating the piss out of them, Rico. And when you hear that, it's just like, I mean, it's majestic.
It is. I got to give you. So now you got me hyped up because now I got to try to find a game I can go to this year if I can. That'd be too ill. But nonetheless, the Jets, I can't stand the Jets. So when it's time for us to face the Jets, I mean, I had a splitting against the Jets, but just because, I mean, Peter Schrager still has them. I hope the Bills wallop the Jets. That's the team I just can't stand, man. Wallop the Jets. Not just beat them, wallop them, man.
What did I text you earlier? That might have been the most insane thing I've ever said. I said I would take another Chiefs Super Bowl win. I said I would take another Chiefs Super Bowl win if it meant the Jets had a losing record this season. That's where I'm at right now with this. That's where I'm at. And you want to know why? I want to just be fair. It really is to no fault of anyone other than what we're being told from everybody on online and on TV and on the radio. Like, I don't think the Jets team in itself, I mean, it just feels like it's being crammed down our throats is all. And I don't understand. It makes no sense to me. First of all, how you could say anyone other than the Chiefs at this point are going to finish the top of the AFC. I mean, Rico, every year Patrick Mahomes has started, he's made the AFC championship. All of a sudden, a 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers is the best team in the AFC. I understand having like hot takes and trying to, call something before it happens. But there's a difference between being like, and the thing is, Peter Schrager's really good at his job. Like, I think he does a great job. This is why I don't get about stuff like this. Why divert from the great job you do and die on the hill of the New York Jets being the best team in the AFC? I don't understand it.
Listen, I'll never understand it. But here's where we are. The Jets right now, they're feeling good. They got their win against the Patriots are not a bad team. Defensively, they're good. They just don't have much of an offense. They just can't get anything going.
Did you see that? I mean, I understand some of it. Of course, the Jets D line. We know if there's one thing I'm going to give the Jets credit for, it's that freaking D line. I mean, come on,
straight fire, gas.
But last night, Rico, that Jets offense, that was like, I mean, I'm pretty sure Bart Starr and the Green Bay Packers back when was that 1960? They would have put up more yards last night. And the Patriots defense, once again, and I know Breece Hall, I know that's your boy. Breece Hall last night, the Jets O-line is not good enough to do what they did to the Patriots defense last night. Patriots defense was a sieve last night. That was embarrassing from New England.
It didn't come out today, but there were some bright spots on that Patriots defense. But I mean, we also knew. I mean, you just said it. BetUS has them at 4.5 wins. So we know what to expect from the Jets. I mean,
should we look right now at what the updated AFC East odds are? Because you'd have to. I haven't looked. I'm wondering where they are in comparison with Buffalo right now.
I have a feeling they'll probably have the Jets in the same position they had it at the beginning of the season, right? We had a few injuries, so it propped up the Jets above the Bills. I probably will say they should be still above, but if Vegas knows what's really good and they've seen what the Bills have been able to do even with the injuries, they should have the Bills above the Jets. If they're smart, that's how they should have it.
I think they'll definitely be above. The question to me is how much will they be above?
You think they'll be above? Maybe things change. You never know. We'll see.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little surprisingly shocked here in a good way. The Bills have reached minus territory. They were plus 170 the whole year, Rico. The Bills are now minus 115. The Jets not all that far behind at plus 135. What do I always say, Rico? Nobody's more objective than the sports books because opinions don't care about your bet slip.
They know what's up.
They know what's up. By the way, though, does something stand out to you on there? Look at the Tua-less Miami Dolphins plus 750 right now. I mean, you don't want to say anything's over until it's over, but you're starting to get the vibe around the Miami Dolphins right now, and you're seeing it right in front of you on your screen there through BetUS. Plus 750. That's crazy. The Bills right now, though, in my opinion, Rico, minus 115, as good as they've looked, riding 4 straight. I think that is still a hell of a line to get in on. YouTube 150. That's the promo code up to $2,000 on BetUS. 150% deposit, bonus rather on your first deposit. 125% bonus on your next 2. I'm taking minus 115 on that all day, Rico. But the Jets are not all that far behind. But it does show you through 2 weeks The Bills, like you mentioned, who are a slight underdog to the Jets going into the year, they've overlapped that going into week 3.
So I'm looking at because I'm reading the chat. They're saying the Jets' schedule is weak as shit. So
Well, of course it is. They have a third place schedule.
I mean, listen, you had the 49ers. I mean, we expected way more out of the Titans. I expected way more out of the Titans. Maybe I guess pumped them up a little bit, but they say they lost to the 49ers, which we totally expected. At least I expected it. Titans toss up, and it was a toss up really because Will Levis was tossing up turnovers left, right, center.
You were a little bit high on the Titans going into the year.
I really thought, and I mean, it's not too late for them to turn around if Buddy can stop turning the dead ball over like an idiot.
They could be 2-0, Rico. They should have beaten the loss to the Bears was insane. They could have won last week against the Jets.
That's what I'm saying, man. So I'm not really giving up on the Titans just yet, but those turnovers got to stop. Patriots, obviously, we kind of knew the Jets would win that one, but like they got the Broncos next, the Vikings soon after that. We don't know what's up with the Vikings just yet. We got to still see. Then they face us, the Bills. Then they got the Steelers. The Steelers are always going to play tough. And then the Patriots, Texans, Cardinals. So we'll see. We'll see how this on paper at the beginning of the season, you would have said weak schedule. But the way the Steelers are looking right now, the way the Texans are 2-0 right now, Cardinals look great last game. So I don't know. We'll see, man. I'm not buying the Jets. I think they're still good. I think they're still a solid team. I think they're going to give us problems when we do face them because if it's just a matchup issue, I think they just match up well against us. The same way that we match up against the Dolphins, I think the Jets match up well. But Aaron Rodgers is a different player, man. I think at 40, he ain't going to be the same cat slinging that rock all over the place. But we'll soon see because he's getting his mojo back a little bit. He got a dub under him, but you're facing the Patriots, bro. So how much am I supposed to show you love on that? We'll see.
Couple of chats I want to bring up. JD saying, y'all better actually sweep them. Let me say, what did I just say?
What did I just say? Say it, man.
No one's played the Jets better. The Jets beat the Bills last year with Zach Wilson because of their defense and because Josh Allen pretty much served that game up to him on a silver platter. And if Josh Allen plays the way he's played through the first, if Josh Allen doesn't turn the ball over, the Jets don't have a prayer in winning that game in week 1. I'm not saying that the Jets don't have the ability defensively to do what they've done to the Bills the last 2 years. My whole point on the Jets, it's not that they're not a viable playoff contender. Did you not just hear the clip I played? Best team in the AFC.
That's
Where is that coming from?
Mm-mm.
I'm as much as I dislike the Dolphins and the Chiefs and the Jets, I always give fair and honest analysis on my thoughts on these teams. I think that the Jets are a team, especially when you're looking at the 0-2 Jags, the 0-2 Bengals, the 0-2 Ravens. That Jets team should be fighting for a playoff spot at the end of the year.
Okay, hold on. Let's talk about the AFC for a quick second. All right.
Okay.
So he says the Jets are the best team in the AFC.
Who said that? Oh, yes.
Schrager.
Okay. Yes.
So you got the Bills that are looking very mighty strong right now. You got the Houston Texans right now. They're 2-0, but they've looked a shaky 2-0. Not go cap. They've looked a shaky 2-0. They went toe-to-toe with the Colts. I don't know how, and they barely got away with it against the Bears. All right. But the Bears have a great defense. They got a solid defense.
Yes, and yes, they do.
Then you got the Chargers that have found themselves a run game with J.K. Dobbins. And that boy's a big boy. I didn't realize how big he was, right?
Leading the league right now. I think he's averaging like over 8 yards a carry or something crazy like that.
9 yards a pop right now.
Yeah.
So then you got the Pittsburgh Steelers that always come hard, pause, right? They always come with it on the defensive side of the ball. Then you got Kansas City. Then you got Cleveland. We don't know what we got with Cleveland. That's up and down. And then you got the Raiders. And then after that, it's just a crapshoot. And then you got the Baltimore Ravens. I can't even sleep. Then you got the Baltimore Ravens and Cincy. We don't know what Cincy's going to happen. What's going to happen with Cincy? So to say that they're the best in the AFC, Schrager.
I think his prediction is that they will end up getting there, but that is assuming one for above anything else. That's assuming they win the AFC East. They have to win the AFC East in order to do that, and that's going to be on the Buffalo Bills' watch, right?
Damn
and
right.
then outside of that, they got to be better than the Chiefs. And if you are able to look into someone's eyes or into a camera and without laughing, say that the New York Jets are a better football team than the Kansas City Chiefs, I got nothing for you. I don't know how on planet Earth you could come to that conclusion. One more thing I want to bring up here as I saw this.
Yeah.
716 hit me where it hurts because I was saying I've had enough of seeing Jason Kelsey on my TV. He goes, come on, Bot, from one chubby hairy dude hating on another chubby hairy dude. Listen, I'm not hating on Jason Kelsey. If anybody can get a bag the way he's getting, playing the center position, I mean, it's incredible. The difference, the thing I'm getting at, how many commercial spots does he have right now? 15?
You got to strike while the iron's hot. The media knows he's hot right now. He's a likable, big fella. He's a hoggy. He's an offensive lineman. He's got charisma. His brother is dating, you know what I'm saying, one of the biggest pop stars in the world, if not the biggest pop star in the world. Bro, life is good. He's retired. He's having a good time. He's washing cars, drinking beer. You know what I mean, he's having a great old time. So they got to strike while the iron's hot until it's not. You know what I mean? So, I mean, you got to give it to him, man. He's all over the place. Embrace it. Embrace that.
Bartek, by the way, we were talking about, you were trying to get up to a game, hopefully sometime soon. We're talking about, I saw a couple people in the chat. I think somebody earlier said they're taking their wife to their first game Monday night. That'll be fun. Bartek saying he's going to be at the bank next week, going to the Ravens game. Bartek, I'm jealous as hell. He's also saying, I know it's your wedding weekend, Bot. Wishing you all the best and much love to you and Caroline. Congrats, buddy. Bartek, you know how much we love you. No one has supported BF quite like Bartek has. Look at that. Member for 46 months, by the way. Bartek, I mean, he's a lifer. We appreciate that. Yeah. So the wedding is 1 week from today. Right around this time right now, Rico, 10:13. You and me are going to be on the dance floor. And we're gonna be doing a little bit of this. We're gonna be doing a little bit of that. You want to know what else we're gonna be doing? I got a surprise for you.
What are we gonna be doing, friend?
Guess what dance we're gonna be doing out on the dance floor?
Here we go. Bimp, 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 bimp.
I want you to think about. All right, so to that song. No, okay, but it could be to this. It could be to that song. Who's the only doctor you know that's got his own invented dance?
Get the heck out of here.
Guess who had the last minute RSVP?
Get out of here. The thigh doc himself.
The thigh doc will be in attendance at the wedding. And we will be doing the thigh dance at my wedding on the dance floor. Make sure to follow all of our social channels because that will be put up on one of them at some point during the night. And I think that my family members, they might get a little scared, but I told Thigh Doc, I go, it's okay. I said, it's fine. I want you to scare some people.
Is that the one we're going to play on?
I got the DJ. He's going to play he's a smooth operator.
Yo, you got to have that. But listen,
lose control.
We might as well get into the wedding chat because, I mean, it's less than 10 days away.
No, it's a week from today.
Oh, I know what it is because we got to set up because we're actually leaving Wednesday to get in there. And then we're going to try to figure out if we're going to stay hotel here or if we're going to go straight to I don't know. We're trying to figure out our way out. But I need to ask you because it's around the corner for you. So are we changing our diet? Did we change our diet? Are we kind of eating clean so we can fit nice and tight in that tuxedo or whatever? What's the deal? What's been the regimen on the pre-wedding vibes or the pre-wedding meals and all that stuff? Like, have you been trying to just drink water and cucumbers and all that shit? What are you doing over there?
That's why the 716 Truth comment, it really hit me to my core. I'm down over 30 lbs. You and I talked about it a couple of months ago where I said, I got to dial in. I got to dial in. I got to get right for the wedding. I just had a doctor's appointment last week and I'm down 30. I was pushing way too high a number. I was putting up a 1-800 number. And that was something that
hold on. You don't even give me the weight. Give me what position you would have been playing at the weight you were sitting at.
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't have been playing free safety. I'll tell you that. I was, God, dude, I think at my heaviest, I was 260. And
260. That's you're pushing like small guard.
Dude, well, yeah, well, and 5'11" too. So I'm pushing like left bench, 260, 5'11". But right now, I just got under the 230 mark. So that's where I wanted to be. I'm feeling good about it.
Good shit.
And we went and picked the tuxedo up yesterday, Rico, and you asked if it was fitting right. I had to get it resized because I lost a couple pounds and I redid it, put it on. And what was I think it's the Joseph A. Banks saying. I don't know if you used to have those in Canada, but the saying, or maybe it was Men's Warehouse, but the saying was, "You're gonna like the way you look."
Hey,
I guarantee it. And I like the way I look, and above anything, Caroline liked the way I look. So I think we're in good shape.
So we going bow tie, we're going tie.
716 come from the top fucking. He's coming from the top rope tonight.
He's getting on your ass.
That's true. If I was playing guard for anything, it was guarding the Chinese buffet table on a nightly basis. That's for sure.
Well, listen, I gotta say this also. Are we going? Watch out, baby. So let me ask you this. So obviously you slimmed down to first of all, to get down to 30 lbs, the amount of sacrifice you had to do. Like for me, cookies is my thing. I'm a cookie guy. That's my thing, right? Candies, I don't do the candy, but cookies. You give me a chocolate chip cookie, I'm downing that, right? What was the hardest thing for you to kind of have to say? I gotta say no. Sometimes you just gotta say no. Were you like a Cat Williams? Did you have to say no to certain things or what?
Taco Bell is my biggest vice. For sure.
Taco Bell, really?
I'm a huge Taco Bell guy. Honest to God, I was kind of thinking about maybe going there after the show. I love Taco Bell so much.
I'm going after it now.
The problem is, Rico, the only person on the planet who likes Taco Bell more than me is the woman I'm marrying a week from today.
Caroline.
So it's a household issue. That was probably the biggest problem. But Caroline probably has lost 20 pounds as well. So we were kind of in this together. It was kind of a tag team effort. So she helped me out with it as well. That was probably the biggest thing. But you want to know what my biggest problem is, Rico? It's the late night boredom. It's the late night, let me just navigate over to the pantry because I'm bored type eating. You know what I mean?
It does happen. It does happen. Those that's the hardest thing to do. So sometimes when you do
Remember that rant? Remember that? Right. It's funny Nick's bringing that up. Right around the time we had that rant about the tapas was when you and I were saying, you asked me what the diet plan was, and I was saying it might need to be more tapas because it's the small plates that I got to get in on in order to drop a couple pounds. So
small plate. Good for you, man. It is such the hardest thing to do. My man Matt says, me and the wife ordered Taco Bell this morning after our wedding. Highly recommended. Listen, man, get the wedding down pat, then you can go. But it is difficult, man. That boredom eating. It's the worst, especially if you're up during the night. You're a night worker. Like when I was working nights, now that I'm on days, I find that it's worse on days, by the way. But when I was on nights, I was like, I don't eat during the night. Night shift, maybe a coffee, and that's about it. I'm not even a coffee drinker in the first place. And then when I get home, the boredom eating. So shoot, I'm not even hungry, but I guess my brain is telling me it's time to eat. So go ahead and jump in and get one of those cookies over here. Hey, snacking on one of the kids' stuff over here, and we just eat on those things, man. Or on the way home, you try to pass by all the fast foods and stuff, man. I gotta chill out on that. So 30 pounds is not easy to do. Good for you, man.
Thank you.
Was your brain like, just go and get some Taco Bell and just don't worry about it, just have one bite?
So what overpowered that, my brain was like, brother, you get one wedding, and if you're gonna trot up there at 260, you're gonna regret that. You're gonna regret that. So I'll tell you what, it was like Bills Chiefs divisional round 13-second game. In the sense that it was back and forth blows between the desire for Taco Bell and the desire to look halfway decent at the wedding. But this time around, baby, we prevailed in those 13 seconds. We overcame the Taco Bell cravings a little bit.
For you, man. The fact that you guys are sleeping. So are we going sockless? Are we going with the sock? Are we? What's the vibe here? Are we showing ankle? Are we going stylistic? Are we? What kind of fashion sets are we going with?
By the way, real quick, this made me laugh so hard because 445 Block was talking about Thigh Doc going to the game, going to the wedding. He goes, Thigh Doc be a little too horny. And he follows it up by saying, Thigh Doc definitely got to go through security twice.
Get him again.
That man ain't making it through TSA. Luckily, Thigh Doc lives like an hour from where we're getting married. So he doesn't even need to go through security. Thigh Doc will be fine.
Good on you, man. Good on you. Proud of you, brother.
Thank you, brother. I really appreciate it, and I'm glad it wound up coming to fruition because, like I said, I really would have regretted it. So, to your question, guess what the special touch is on the tux? Because you mentioned socks.
I need that.
I have a feeling I know, but it's Buffalo Bills socks. Me and my best man, my dad, we're both rocking the Bills socks.
I like
That's going to be my little touch. Got to have my boys out there with me.
Love it.
And so that's my little touch. But here's the dilemma right now. So I went and, like I said, I went and tried on the tux. And the white shoes with the black tux is screaming to me, Rico. It's speaking to me. I tried it on and I was like, damn, I love it.
What kind of shoes?
dress shoes, but they're white. They had these like white, they're like sneaker dress shoes.
Like a casual shoe.
That could be the last minute change. Yes. So we'll see what ends up happening there. Someone also asked in here, they said, forget who it was, but they said, what's the plan with the haircut? So this is what it's going to look like.
Hey, yo, watch out.
I got it done. I got to go and I'll get it done again next week. But shout out my barber down here. He had me in that chair for 2 hours the other night, getting it right. It's crazy because I was bitching to Caroline. I'm like, man, that was the most money I've ever spent on a haircut. It took 2 hours. She's like, oh my God, getting the hair done for our wedding, it's going to cost me X amount of money and it's going to take 9 hours.
Are we competing here? Are we competing?
I know. I told her, I go, I'd rather you do nothing. I'm digging what you got going on right now. And it's like, oh, that's not what you're supposed to do. That's what kills me is like, I feel like, especially for women, it's like enforced on them. They have to do all this stuff. And I was telling Kyle, I'm like, don't do any of it. I don't think you should do any of it, but of course they're going to do it. They love it. So,
So it's funny because 716 Truth was like, I thought he was saying he was going to wear some forces. I was like, yo, bet. And then he said dress shoe. He kind of threw me off. So, I mean, listen, I trust that you'll put the ensemble together just right. And wait, are we bow tie or tie? What are we doing here?
Another special touch. So I am a notorious bow tie guy. So when I was back doing TV news and when I was a sports reporter in college, my whole thing was the bow tie. I was bow tie bot, backpack bot, bow tie bot, bent brim bot. There's a million different bots, but I was bow tie bot for a while. I'm rocking the bow tie. All of my groomsmen are rocking the normal tie. So that's like the one nice little touch there too.
You gotta have a difference between you and your groomsmen. I like that. That's a great look. Listen, man, it's gonna be a good old time.
Yeah, how you feeling? Week out, man. We're gonna be getting together. I mean, are you stoked?
I already told everybody listen, I already have a suit jacket all ready to go. I bought a second suit just in case. We're going black on black. That's what we're gonna do. We're just going. I mean, I don't know if it's a thing to do at weddings, but I mean, I'm not part of it, so I'm in the back. I'll be in the back chilling, and I might put a little pop.
Is fire. That is fire.
We're gonna see, and I might go with the sockless look. I mean, you know what I mean? We'll see how it goes. Your boy's gonna be looking fresh. Wifey's gonna be looking fresh as well. She's like, we got 10 days to look all right before we get to this wedding. I was like, it ain't our wedding. We got 10 days. You're with me or not? I was like, shit, all right, then I'll do my best. I haven't really done anything. I've been just chilling. So maybe
tell Jenna the only thing she's got to get right for, don't eat 2 days before and get that liver clean. Because that's all I want from you guys. I want you eating and drinking like the world's ending. That's what I want.
It's her birthday.
I know
it's her birthday weekend on your wedding. She's like, before she was all about it. Now she's all gung-ho ready to go. So we got to double celebrate her time. So I mean, it's gonna be her big 40th. So she gonna be balling. So we're gonna have a good time, man. We're gonna have a good time.
Well, there's also one more surprise, by the way. We have a brochure at the wedding, and you may or may not be featured somewhere within it. You'll have to take a peek on that when you get there next Friday.
We will see. I think we're gonna win the title for the people coming from the furthest. So we're gonna see what's good, man. We're gonna see what's good, man.
Maybe.
Rico's wife locked eyes and said, Broncos country, let's ride. We're gonna see, man. We're gonna see. We're gonna be looking all right. And then we got we're gonna see what my man Thigh Doc's gonna be wearing. P Money, we're gonna see what he's wearing. I mean, we'll see.
Thigh Doc's gonna be wearing the tearaway Zubas if I have any say in it. That's what I want from Thigh Doc.
Well, he's gonna show off some kind of thigh. So we're gonna see how it is. But I'm proud of you, man. I'm actually looking forward to it. It's gonna be a nice wedding. It's gonna be cool, and it gives us a chance to go and actually get across the border and drive safe and do all that good stuff. So we're gonna be there. We're gonna be having a good time. But let's switch it up a little bit because I do want to ask you something because I did last show I did a top 10 power ranking.
I was hoping you were going to go there. I haven't done this yet, so I'm dying to get into this.
Top 10 power ranking, I wrote. I guess I should give you my top 10 that I gave you that I gave the fans that were the viewers. I would say I don't want to say fans. We ain't got no fans. We got some family. We got viewers. All that good stuff. I hate saying that. The fans. What are we? Who are we? Right. So top 10.
We're all fans, Dad.
We're all fans at the end of the day. So I went. And I feel I should change it a little bit now that some things have happened, but I'm sticking to how I got it. So I have honorable mention, Steelers and Seahawks did not make my top 10.
Okay.
Would I change it? I'm not sure yet. But anyway, here's how I have it. Vikings 10. Chargers 9. Tampa 8. I would have moved Tampa a little bit, but I'm keeping them at 8. Philly 7. That's the one I was like,
I don't know about these Eagles, man. I can't trust them at all. I mean, Monday night.
I had them at 7. I had them at 7. Lions at 6, Saints at 5. Then I got the Texans at 4, San Fran 3, Buffalo 2, Kansas City 1.
I like that a lot. I don't
Would you change anything in that top 10? Because right now, I'm looking at the Seahawks, and the Seahawks look pretty damn good. They're not bad. Do they crack top 10? Are they better than the Vikings? Are they better than the Philadelphia Eagles? Are the Eagles even a top 10 team? I'm looking at the Eagles and who they played. I mean, they should be 2-0.
I noticed you have no Lions in there.
The Lions, yes, I do. They're at 6.
Oh, my bad. I must have missed it. They're at 6. Okay.
Lions at 6.
Okay.
That's how I have my top 10. So would you change anything?
Okay. I would go. So my front end is almost identical to yours. I think it is identical. I would go Chiefs 1, Bills 2. The problem with the Niners right now is they're banged up. I know Mason's a hell of a backup for McCaffrey, and anybody that comes in with Shanahan seems to succeed. But now Deebo Samuel is out. Yeah. Brandon Ayuk needs to get in gear. Kittle's banged up now. And Brandon Ayuk needs to show up. He has no-showed in 2 games after signing that deal with San Francisco. I'm not going to knock them down a peg yet, just because they are San Francisco. To me, that's the best team in the NFC until I see different. But they're in trouble right now offensively in terms of how banged up they are. And we know Brock Purdy can be a great quarterback with the surrounding characters he has. We're gonna learn real quick here just how good he can be with this offense kind of falling down a peg in terms of the injuries. But I'll go with San Francisco at 3 just because to me there's no way they're not a top 3 team.
Texans Saints.
Texans are 4 to me. They've played 2 good defenses back-to-back weeks. That's still a team. This is easy to forget.
Considered a good defense?
I think the Colts are better defensively than I think they're given credit for. The
Saints are putting up points.
The Saints look unbelievable. The Saints look incredible. The thing with the Saints to me, Rico, you're going to catch me. They play Philly this weekend. That game to me, one of the better games of the weekend. Not just because it's a matchup that on paper looks good. I think we learn a lot about the NFC. I think we're going to learn what Philly is after absolutely shitting themselves against the Falcons on Monday night. And if the Saints can go out and win, I'm not expecting them to win the way that they've been winning again. I mean, that's insane. They have 91 points on the year, Rico. The Bills are 3rd, and I think they trail the Saints by almost 30 points. That's how many points the Saints have put up. But that game to me is going to prove a lot. If the Saints go out, and I'm not trying to sit here and say the Saints got to prove it again, but they kind of do. The Saints weren't great last year, and their expectations this year were not high at all. If they go out and beat Philly, that to me, Rico, where you have them at 5, I think that's more than fair. If they start 3-0 with dominant W's, including 2 W's over the Cowboys and the Eagles, you can sign me up for the Saints being a top 5 team. And then also within there, I have to put in the Detroit Lions. Honest to God, the way that you had that constructed, Rico, I don't know if I'm changing a whole hell of a lot. I do like a lot of it.
Bills, San Fran. I think I'm changing it. I'm going Saints. Well, the Saints played the Carolina Panthers, so the Panthers ain't. So I might just chill.
But that was the beauty of it, right? Because they do that to the Panthers week 1. And everyone's thinking it's the Panthers. To do it in Dallas, and I know Dallas is susceptible to getting blown out. The Bills did it to them last year. The Dolphins did it to them, the Cardinals did it to them. But the ability to do that in back-to-back weeks was impressive. They beat Philly this weekend, Rico. They're on notice as one of the best teams in the NFC.
And guess what? San Fran plays a pretty tough team themselves this week.
They play the Rams, but the Rams, are down to their C team. The Rams are done, Rico. Have you seen the injuries for that team?
Yeah, they're
and Cup IR, plus the offensive line is completely out. They're done.
It's bad. It is looking bad right now. So we'll see how that all plays out with them. The 49ers should win. Brandon, actually, funny thing, side note. So I have a good friend of mine, and he's in a fantasy league, and he'll hit me up and like, yo, how do you feel about this? Should I make this trade? Should I do this? So I get a message from his wife, and his wife's like, by the way, I'm in the same fantasy as
I love this.
So she goes, he just offered me a trade. Should I accept? I was like, send me the offer. Let's see it. So he sends her Jalen. It was actually quite comical. So I was like, all right. So the offer was this. The nerve, first of all. I'm like, don't try to fleece your wife.
Yeah,
so
that's insane.
Sean, shame on you, man. Shame on you. He She has Brandon Ayuk. So he's sending her Josh Reynolds from Denver and Jalen Reed from Green Bay for Brandon Ayuk. I said, absolutely deny that. She's like, so then I'm like, Brandon Ayuk's going to be the guy that they're going to go and target. Yep. Kittle, gone. Debo, gone. CMC, gone. You got Jennings and no, say no bueno, not happening. So send me more of a guys that he has. And then how you going to fleece your own lady?
That's insane.
You go fleece your own lady, man. Sean, shame on you, man.
I was shopping around Ayuk myself because I have him on mine. But what you just said is the reason you can't make the move. With Kittle out, CMC out, and Debo out, Debo, it's either Ayuk or bust. I mean, that's all that. I mean, Juwan Jennings and Brandon Ayuk are going to be the offense, and it better be Ayuk leading the way after sitting out the entire offseason.
He better, and that's why I'm glad that you mentioned that. So I'm in my predicament right now because I got Tyreek Hill on my squad, and I'm ready to put him on the block because I don't know Skyler is good enough, and this is the time to do it. It's either now or never because people can still buy high on Tyreek Hill. So I'm debating if I just put him on the block and see who wants, and then I can see if I can get a 2-for-1 deal and then keep my life rolling. Because Tyreek, I don't know if Skylar Thompson can deal with. I mean, I don't know if he's going to be good enough.
That's the key. You got to factor that in because people are saying the argument I've heard for the Dolphins is that they still should be okay offensively because of Hill and Waddle. The one thing you have to give Tua credit for, and you know my thoughts on Tua, but the one thing that you can not diss him on is his ability to get them the ball and get them the ball quickly. Skylar Thompson, it's going to be a whole different offense with him. It's just not.
Guy Matt Montgomery saying, "Yo, keep Hill. He'll still get yards."
I don't really know. I got to be honest.
Me neither. I'm not sure either. I have a feeling it's going to be one of those. We're just going to run the ball and we're going to not stop running the ball. We're just going to keep going. So they're going to
try to do a lot of what I think that they were trying to do last week. Even though they didn't do it a ton. I mean, I think he only got 6 targets, which, I mean, the Bills just dominate Tyreek Hill in the regular season. It's crazy. But they're going to be doing a lot of bullshit around the line of scrimmage. So he could still bust one. But now, Rico, if I'm defending the Dolphins, if my game plan all week is to prep for the Dolphins, I'm prepping the line of scrimmage. Achane and anything with Hill around the line of scrimmage, to me, is the only way they're going to be moving the ball. They're not going to be getting the ball down the field in a quick manner on these slants and shit, the way that they were doing with Tua. I think that their best strategy right now is keeping the ball around the line of scrimmage with Achane and Hill. So you're pretty much banking on Hill being, I don't want to say gadget guy, but you're not going to be seeing these bombs down the field and him going for 80-yard touchdowns without Tua out there.
That's the thing. So I'm just going to have to see this week how that chemistry works. If he at least gets the targets, I'm keeping him. If the targets ain't there, shipping them. And that's just what it is.
We should learn a lot, by the way, about those Dolphins in terms of what they could look like, because they're playing this upcoming week. The Dolphins, right now, you looked at them as that plus 750 on BetUS to win the division. The Dolphins this coming week, they're playing the Seahawks. And you had talked about the fact that the Seahawks were kind of on the fringe of your top 10.
Right.
We're going to learn about what the Dolphins are this week. If they can keep that competitive, then maybe you have some hope, but the Seahawks should definitely win that game.
And they got the Seahawks, then they got the Titans right after.
Mm-hmm.
And L'Jarius Sneed is a damn good corner, so he's going to be locked up on Tyreek Hill. So then they have the Patriots and then the Colts. So it's going to be interesting, man. This is why it's funny, because you look at the Bills schedule. The Bills schedule it's tough as heck, man.
Dude, it's insane.
Lee, I'm looking at how the hell we got to play. I'm like, yo.
That's why Monday, 3-0, because the Jags have showed through the first few weeks here, they're not as good as Houston. I don't care what Baltimore's record is. The Jaguars are not as good as the Ravens. And say what you will, but I'll even say it right now. The Jets are a better team and shown that they're a better team than Jacksonville. So those are your next 3 games. This is the game that you want to make sure you get, because it's the game that you should definitely have out of those 3 afterwards.
No question about it. Richie Fresh says, yo, soon we're going to be calling Bobby bad bitch in a good way. This show got my piece wiggling already, man. It's Monday yet. Play that Monday night anthem. Yo, big shout out to Bobby Babish, man. That boy, he's that dude, man. He's the future. And I would not be surprised by the end of the season if they come calling and say, yo, you want to be the head coach of my squad, I hope we don't lose them like that. But we got the guy that created this defense in McDermott. So if Bobby Babbage does leave, we're still in good company. But I want that nucleus to stay together. But I mean, shoot, what you gonna do, man? Nicholas Provias says Jets really beat the passes suddenly. The Medis. Is that what I'm saying? Am I reading that right?
The media, I think he meant to say.
Oh, the media. The media has the Jets winning the East. I mean, listen, man. They beat they have no choice but to prop up the Jets because when they prop the Jets up, and then when the Jets falter a couple times, it's more storylines. Oh, look at the Jets. Aaron Rodgers 40 just can't cut it. The seasons. I mean, there's gonna be so many storylines with these Jets, so it's always good to have them. You know what I mean, in the storylines, no matter how you want to slice it. It's just what it is, man. Hey, you're getting some love by my man Scott Blakely. He said, hey,
my man.
Wedding bells. I think that's what he's trying to say. But wedding, congrats, Z-Bot. I think it's gonna be a good time, man. I think we're gonna have a great time.
By the way, do you know when you're heading back? By the way, after the wedding.
All right, so here's the deal. I'm headed back, probably the Saturday, and then because I got to make it back for the game, I got to watch the game.
Yeah,
gots to. I know most people are like, well, why don't you stay around and do the problem is when you got kids and you got my mother-in-law's gonna be watching the kiddos in school and all that stuff. I gotta get back to the homestead.
Especially if you're coming up Wednesday.
What would be dope? Yeah, I am coming up Wednesday. We're trying to figure the logistics out. But what would be dope is if my mother-in-law's like, you know what? Stay out there a little longer, if you will. Then
see, this is where I was kind of going. I didn't know what your plan was, but we're throwing a little bit of we're calling it the Bills and Bells. And man, there was part of me that was hoping we could do some sort of live show together that Sunday night against the Ravens. There was a part
Bills of and Bells.
Listen, I don't know if it's possible, but man, that would be incredible.
That would be incredible.
The only time we've ever done it is at a damn Arby's in East Aurora. This would be a hell of a lot better than that.
This would be a hell. And here's the crazy part too, right? Because I ended up, the way it worked out when I took my vacation and annuals, I ended up taking the rest of the week off. So I'm off. It's not like I got to be back for work and stuff. So, and then at the end of the week, I'm getting the old done. So yeah. Listen, that was part of her birthday. She wanted that as a birthday present. Lord knows, we can't have no more kids, man. My pullout game has been strong so far. Let's keep it that way. I ain't trying to have no more. Knock on wood. So we're gonna get that taken care of.
Shit, you know what I mean? You're gonna be up on your ass for a couple of days.
Listen, man, and then I'm flying to Newfoundland. Never been to Newfoundland. You wouldn't know where Newfoundland is, but it's in the Atlantic, way out east. Apparently, it's a beautiful place for Canadians that are watching right now. I got to travel there for work, and man, we're gonna be busy, man. We're gonna be busy. My man Rico sounds like you need to give mother-in-law a small gift.
I'm telling you, that would be so. We're gonna have a party at my brother-in-law's, and man, dude, if we could hop on the sticks after. I mean, obviously, I know you got a long drive and you got the kids, but
yeah, it's gonna be interesting. 12 hours, man. So we're gonna try to see if we can split it 6 and 6, or we stay. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. So you got your Power 10 rankings. Now I kind of want to veer back a little bit because there's some storylines around the NFL. I need to get your thoughts on coaches giving up on quarterbacks. Let's talk about it, man, because Tom Brady said it. They've pretty, and I'm paraphrasing here, they've pretty much dumbed down playing the quarterback position so that anybody can pretty much play it. And I'm not saying those were his words, but when you say you dumb down something, you dumb things down so that anybody can do it. So you dumb down the position, and then when you don't get what you're supposed to get, then you're shipping quarterback off, you're benching the quarterback and all that good stuff. And then another storyline we'll get into in a little bit, because it kind of ties into a little bit, that these quarterbacks are just not ready for these new complex ways, because the complaint is scoring is down this year.
Yeah, did you see what Mel Kiper said? I saw someone mention it in the chat here.
Buddy, I couldn't believe he's serious. I thought he was joking. He's saying this should outlaw too high formation. Are you kidding me? Outlaw too high? Nah, bro. And this is where Tom Brady's words come in. We've dumbed down the game. We've dumbed it down so much that, like, what, too high is messing y'all up so much and y'all can't score? Golly, it's unbelievable. So, two things. What say you on the Bryce Young, I guess, benching, if you will, for Andy Dalton? That's number one. And what does that do to a young quarterback? Like you drafted me with the number 1 pick. Clearly, you have regrets, but are you all in on me? Just we've hit a couple snags across the road. You gave me Xavier Legette. I have an aging Adam Thielen. Miles Sanders is a bust. Chuba Hubbard ain't that dude. The O-line is okay. Like, what you want me to do with this?
Yeah.
So what
There's
say you on the Bryce Young situation?
There's a lot to unpack with this. For starters, Bryce Young was 2-16 as a starter, and there was no signs of that getting better anytime soon. We would have saw those signs week 1. I think people anticipated the Panthers to take at least a marginal step forward after last season. They look worse than ever. These last 2 weeks, they're bordering on, they keep this up. This could be one of the worst teams in NFL history, the way that they're looking.
There's already been an 0-16 team.
But I'm talking about the way that they're losing, too. They're getting destroyed. I mean, it's not that they're just losing. I mean, they're getting dismantled. Bryce Young, here's one thing you have to factor in with him that I think that other guys like Anthony Richardson's not playing well right now. He's only in his second year. He's getting a lot of criticism. There hasn't been a touchdown scored through the air by a rookie quarterback through the first 2 weeks. That is absolutely insane.
Oh, shit. I didn't know that stat line, really.
Oh, yeah, dude. Not one touchdown thrown from Jaden Daniels.
Caleb Williams hasn't thrown any touchdowns yet?
Not one. Dude, Caleb Williams
you got DJ Moore.
Caleb Williams had 94 yards week 1.
Brutal.
It is not working for anyone. The only one who's had a decent outing, Jaden Daniels looked really good, but it was against the Giants. They didn't score a touchdown in that game, and they still won. But he can run the ball exceptionally well, and that's kind of where I was going. Bryce Young, one of the smaller quarterbacks in the league in terms of height and overall size. That is not going to buy you any additional goodwill when you're losing. If you are Jaden Daniels, the athleticism of a freak, if you're Anthony Richardson, the closest thing body-wise I've seen to Josh Allen since Josh Allen's entered the league.
Right.
If you have one of those traits that is undeniably different, you're going to get a longer leash. Bryce Young does not have that. Drew Brees is the comp, right, for Bryce Young because of the size.
Of course.
The odds were stacked against Drew Brees, and that there's a reason why he was shipped to the Saints. The Chargers were done with him, right? And he goes to New Orleans and he resurges his career and winds up being a Hall of Famer under Sean Payton. That's few and far between. The ability to succeed at that size is very marginal, or it's very small. The sample size is very small in this league. Bryce Young, he matches that billing. So for starters, off the bat, he himself was not built, in my opinion, to immediately succeed in this league unless he had the ability around him to, or the assets around him to give him the ability to succeed. But there's other things in play here in terms of both the offense is regressing, especially with rookie quarterbacks, and then this idea that Mel Kiper kind of has about trying to get the offense back. Here's the difference right now. The defense in terms of front four almost everywhere is exceptionally better than anything the opposing team has on the offensive side of the line. These defensive lines are as highly paid as quarterbacks and wide receivers. There's nobody in the league that gets paid more than DNs when it comes to positional groups outside of the quarterback and sometimes wide receiver. You have your occasional corner in there. But we know that defensively, the most important position is the defensive end. TJ Watt's the best example in the league. I think he might be the most important player to a franchise that's not a quarterback in the entire NFL. The Steelers are half the team that they are without him. The offensive line throughout this league, you can have team. Joe Burrow made the Super Bowl early in his career with one of the worst O-lines to ever make it, right? Josh Allen, up until last year, has been playing behind mediocre to pretty below average offensive line play throughout his career. Now you're seeing with better offensive line, what's happening with the Bills? They're not as Josh Allen reliant. They're a much different, much more dynamic team because of the offensive line. When you don't have that in front of you, Rico, you're going to have to be Josh Allen or Mahomes in order to succeed. Bryce Young is not, and none of these quarterbacks are going to be in their rookie year right out of the gate. Caleb Williams, you're watching right now, the offensive line for the Chicago Bears, you and me might as well be throwing the C on our helmet and blocking for Caleb Williams. It's been that bad. That's why a generational talent like he's supposed to be has looked far from that through the first couple of weeks. Now, if he had great offensive line play, would he look phenomenal? Probably not. He's a rookie. But there's factors in play. To me, the offensive line gap to the defensive line gap it's wide. And that's why you're seeing defenses, I think, get a leg up as the years go on here over these offenses. The other thing, too, is that I think we're seeing a resurgence in the run game. The Bills are doing this. It's so funny. The second the Bills started to get viable in the run game, look around the league. Everyone else is starting to try to find a way to get this formula under their belt as well. If you dominate time of possession and you have a team like the Bills defensively that can keep your team in play throughout a game, regardless of what's going on with the other team's offense, running the ball is your best friend. And we're seeing that with teams. That's why the scoring's lower. The passing yards were as low as it's ever been, I think, through the first 2 weeks. And that's ultimately going to lead to a lower score because you're not bombing it down the field every other play. So there's a lot of factors in play here, Rico, I think, in terms of the scoring being down. And then when we get back to talking about the quarterback situation, especially the rookies, I think right now, all of those things that I just mentioned, in conjunction with the fact that teams have never been more reliant on a guy out of college to immediately save the franchise than they have been the last several seasons.
Yes.
That's the biggest problem to me. The expectations, like for us, we were lucky. The Bills were so bad for so long. We were willing to be patient with Josh Allen and his maturation into becoming what he was. Patrick Mahomes had the luxury of sitting behind Alex Smith. Lamar Jackson, Joe Flacco, right? There's not going to be a situation. This is why what CJ Stroud is doing is so insane. This is why we have so much respect for the Texans. It's the outlier. It's not the norm. The Commanders have been bad forever. Jaden Daniels, come save us. The Panthers have been bad forever. Bryce Young, come save us. The Bears have never had a quarterback throw for over 4,000 yards in franchise history. Caleb Williams, come and save us. You got Denver right now. Russell Wilson, biggest cap hit in NFL history. Bo Nix, come and save us. The expectations are far too high, Rico. And when you have teams, for instance, like the Bears, and I think I even drank a little bit of this Kool-Aid, we immediately thought the Bears were going to be an instant playoff team. You are seeing that the reliance of a rookie quarterback adjusting to the pace of the NFL and then relying on that to be the savior, the thing that gets you over the hump, Rico, I think you're never going to have your expectations met if that's what you go into a season with. So I think that's what we're dealing with right now. And in Bryce Young's case, the one other thing I'll mention, Rico, about Bryce Young, the one thing you got to consider is the fact that there's also 52 other guys on this roster. And if they're watching Bryce Young run himself into sacks, not be able to get the ball out over the line because maybe his size is at his disadvantage right now, whatever, losing ball game after ball game, the coach, they have a new coach in Carolina. It gets to the point where you have to make a move, Rico, simply to make a statement. You have to wonder if that was also factored into it as well. What's your whole take on it?
So I'm as I'm listening to you and I'm writing down the teams that are dealing with a quarterback that's got less than 3 years playing ball.
How many are there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got 8 teams right now in the NFL.
Wow.
That's got a quarterback that's got
quarter of the league, a full quarter of the league.
Quarterly. And here's the thing. When you have guys like Josh Allen, you have guys like Lamar Jackson, you have guys that have come out and just played well right off Baker Mayfield. I'll put Baker Mayfield in there.
Sure.
Bro, we need something now. I used to use this analogy back in the day. Back in the day, the NFL used to be, and like teams used to kind of have the slow cooker approach where we draft a quarterback of the future, we let the old guy stick around for a little bit, and then the young guy takes over. Let him marinate a little bit. Let him learn a little bit, right? Certainly what's happening right now in Atlanta. You got Michael Penix Jr. that can just chill and sit. Let Kirk Cousins take over for 2 years, maybe 3, depending on how he does, because they can get out in 2 years, right? So, look at you got the Texans. CJ Stroud is actually the only one that's doing actually well right now. Then you got the Pats. Drake May is about to take over. Okay, I put the Pats in there. You got Denver with Bo Nix. I don't know how Bo Nix is doing right now. What's the record for the Denver?
They're 0-2. I will say I've liked what I've seen from him in terms of what the eye test is, but he's not playing well.
Okay, but this is what I'm saying. Like, you're throwing these rookies in right off the bat without what are they competing with? You're competing with Zach Wilson. Anyway, so you got Denver, You got the Colts with Aaron Anthony Richardson. You got
Often
the
injuries
Titans with
too.
Will Levis. You got the Commanders with Jaden Daniels. And I mean, I like Jaden Daniels, so we'll see how he plays out.
Definitely.
You got Chicago with Caleb Williams, #1 overall draft pick. And then you got Carolina that just benched Bryce Young.
You also have Minnesota. J.J. McCarthy would be probably starting over Sam Darnold. You have to wonder if they'd be as good as they've looked through the first 2 weeks if he wasn't injured too.
So these owners, I mean, I get it.
And Atlanta, by the way, too, is another one with Michael Penix waiting in the wings. There's a lot of these guys.
This is what I'm saying. I didn't put Atlanta there, but I mean, you could easily put him there. But I said Kirk Cousins is going to hold it down for a bit. But like, gone are the days of letting these quarterbacks just kind of learn something. Bring in a veteran guy. If you have to take a couple L's, you know what I'm saying? Then take a couple L's. Let your young guy learn before you throw him in there. With Josh Allen, they didn't start him right off the bat. You know who they started? Nate Peterman.
The
They
legend.
put Nate Peterman in there before Josh. Josh had to sit behind. Was he better than Nate Peterman? Of course he was. But they said, not yet, young buck. That's why you got to kind of respect what the approach of McDermott and Bean. We're not just going to throw him in there and make him fail. Like what you see right here, the list of players that I've named. Bryce Young, ultimate failure. They didn't build around this guy. You go, who'd you have to build around him? You gave up. Here's another thing. That piss poor organization, you gave up DJ Moore a slew of picks for Bryce Young, and then you bench him on top of that? Fam, you got to give that brother some time. So the Josh Allen approach was great. What you did was you let him sit behind, Nate Peterman, although Nate Peterman wasn't great. It wasn't good at all. Then you brought in Derek Anderson. To me, I think Derek Anderson was a big integral part in Josh Allen's development because Josh Allen became a better player after he got hurt. Derek Anderson was in. Once Josh Allen get back in there, he was a different quarterback. He was chilled. He was more subdued than wilding out, doing crazy shit. So you got to give these guys an opportunity to learn some shit instead of like baptized by fire. Sometimes you can't just put them out there like that. You got to actually let these guys actually learn and sit and take some notes. Jordan Love is a great example. Look at Jordan Love. Jordan Love sat there right behind Aaron Rodgers, just chill, take my notes, and they were doubting that brother. And then he comes in and lights the shit out of the freaking Dallas Cowboys, and now he's got himself a big ass contract. They did give him a contract already. Did they? I can't remember if they did or did not, or whatever the case is. But he's due for one, or he got one. I just can't remember. But the point is, let these quarterbacks sit. Right? If you're
he did sign, by the way. Jordan Love did.
He did sign. So, but here's the problem. Here's what ends up happening. They sign these coaches to give them ultimate success because they're sick and tired of seeing Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes have success. You know what I'm saying? Or Josh Allen and Sean McDermott have success. So they want the success right now. We need a coach that can take these guys out right now. Bro, it doesn't happen that way, man. You got to let these guys live a little bit. Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback ever. Bro, 6th round draft pick, he sat. He sat and he waited for it, and then Drew Bledsoe got hurt, and then boom, you get in there. But he had time. He had time on his belt. Now you got poor Bryce. So you just ruined this guy right now. So now what you going to do with him? You're going to let him sit behind Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton might get you a couple wins, and then you sit him for the rest of the year until Andy Dalton gets hurt, and then you want to put him back. He's jaded.
Yeah, you can't go back on it. That's the thing. You can't just go like, oh, Bryce Young back out there. Like if Andy Dalton doesn't get hurt, why would Bryce Young go back in?
He's gonna be pissed. He's already pissed right now. So now you get a jaded player, and that's the thing. They're gonna say, well, hey, bitch, you're a professional athlete. We pay you millions of dollars. You didn't do well. Granted, you didn't do well. So you're now back in there. We have no choice, but you got to get in there and show me how you can perform. I draft you with the 1st overall pick. Show me what you got. What am I working with here? So a lot of times these GMs, these fly-by-night GMs that just concocts and put a coach in that doesn't know shit and try to mesh this guy with Canales. Come on, man. Give me a freaking break.
I almost have to wonder, though, with Canales, do you almost have to give him some sort of credit that you couldn't give credit to like Brian Dable for? Like, you don't think everyone in New York wants Daniel Jones benched? I almost wonder if there's something about it. And this is why I went back to the point I made about the other guys on the team and also the way the franchise looks. How does it look if you get just absolutely blown out of the building your first 2 weeks after already essentially losing every game last season for the most part? How long can you continue to do it before you make the drastic change? And we all know, Rico, there's no change you can make on a football team that's more drastic than switching up the quarterback position. I just think he's in a rough spot because you don't see this often. You don't see it often. Like, that's why it was so jarring what Sean Payton did with Russell Wilson. You don't see, despite him being a veteran, you don't see teams move off of quarterbacks that quick. Remember what Arizona did with Josh Rosen immediately going to Kyler Murray.
Yep.
Like, you don't see it a lot. When you do see it, it's shocking. But I don't think Bryce Young, unfortunately, I don't know. I don't know if it's ever going to be resurrected, just because, like I mentioned earlier, what does he bring to the table right now that's ever going to be on the playing field of what the top guys in the league are doing? And you just said it, Rico. You'll look at the top of the line right now. That's what everybody's chasing. And I think once, and this is where I will give credit to Canales and anybody who's willing to do this. Maybe this is where, despite the draft pick being insane to me, where they did it, the Falcons taking Penix where they did. The vision is to try your hand at getting one of those guys as much as possible. And when you know within a fairly short sample size that it's not ever going to be that, you almost have to tip your cap and say, what's the point in continuing to drag this on if we know it's never going to get to where it's at? I think a lot of Giants fans would tell you that right now. I just think that there's some teams that actually benefit from giving up on, having the ability, I would say, to give up on guys that a lot of people would be unwilling to give up on, because it makes them have to admit we made a mistake in drafting this guy.
Is it a mistake, though? Because, I mean, obviously collegiately means really nothing. You can be a damn good quarterback in college and you come to the NFL and you just, you know what I mean? You're poo-poo. But, like, they absolutely gave up too soon on Bryce Young. But then as a head coach, now put your head coach on, coaching. So the only thing I don't know, it was Canales the head coach for Carolina when they drafted Bryce Young. That's
he's a first-year head coach this year.
He's a first year. That's right. He wasn't him. So that's not his guy.
Right.
So he's not tied to him. So I understand why he's benching him, because listen, my job's on the line here. I don't know if this was it Doug Tepper or whatever his name is. I don't know if he's gonna fire me. I don't know if he's gonna fire me or not. Like, what the heck? So I gotta do what's best for the team, which is absolutely right. So if you're the head coach and you see that your second-year player is struggling mightily, do you just let him take his lumps and watch the rest of your team just lose faith in what's going on at the quarterback? Or do you say, man, I got to cut the cord now and put something in so I can save this team? Because nothing worse is when you lose your team. Your team doesn't trust the quarterback. Your team is like, well, if my coach is letting this fool go out there and stink up the joint, he clearly don't care about winning the squad. So, yo, bump this coach too. So the coach has got to make the right decision by benching Bryce Young. So you're in a tough spot, especially if you didn't draft the guy. When you have faith, like Doug Marrone is the perfect example. This asshole came in, and I don't like cussing, but I can't stand Doug Marrone. This asshole came in and was like, I don't like the quarterback that you guys are going to take from me, but I mean, I guess I got to roll with EJ Manuel. You know what? I'm going to call Orton out of retirement and let EJ Manuel go 2 for 2, 500, and say, you know what? I've seen enough. And then go to freaking Kyle Orton. Buddy, he didn't even give EJ Manuel a chance. I would have loved to see EJ really, truly have a chance with a true complement of receivers. But I mean, neither here nor there. Bryce Young is in a tough position, but the coach is in a tough position, because if he doesn't get the job done, you're fired. And you don't get many opportunities.
The organization itself, Rico, it means so much. There's a reason why the Packers haven't had a bad quarterback in a century. They have had the luckiest, but I guess we could say luck. It's not luck. They do. At what point is it not luck? When you continue year after year after year to have top quarterback talent, right? There's some of these organizations, the Jets, those amazing Jets who were supposed to win the bowl this year. This is one of the most poorly ran franchises in all of sports. The carousel of quarterback has been their biggest problem the last 2 decades. The last one they had that was even viable was Mark Sanchez, who got to the AFC Championship with Rex Ryan. The franchise itself, and that's why when I hear the criticism about the Pagulas and Bean, whenever that pops up, are you absolutely shitting me? You have got to have the guys in place to get it right. And when you're scratching your head saying, how the hell do some of these teams absolutely whiff every single chance they get? It's just because of the way things are ran.
Yeah.
Some organizations are leaps and bounds ahead of others in terms of their competency and their ability to get the right guys in there. And that's why right now, I think the pressure is even higher for Caleb Williams than maybe meets the eye, because the Bears they fall right into that. They fall right into that category. That's a team that has not had a good quarterback in my entire life. And now your job's on the line because Caleb Williams is, everyone thinks he is that, but he has to prove it.
And this is another thing too. This is a crawl. This is what pisses me off. So you got these young players that their aspirations to play in the league, and you have a head coach and a GM that may not be on the same page. So you hire Canales, and I'm stuck on this Bryce Young thing because it pisses me off. You hire Canales, and as a GM and owner, hey, are we giving this kid a true chance?
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna go through his lumps. Canales, your job is safe. Right? Your team is to just keep the team going, prop this guy up, get him going, and away we go. There ain't no way. I think it's Dan Morgan is the GM now. I think it's Dan Morgan. Or
for the Panthers?
For the Panthers. He used to be a personnel with us, former linebacker for Dan. Was it Morgan? Yeah, Dan Morgan.
Dan Morgan,
so,
yep.
Yeah, there's got to be, y'all are not in lockstep. Because you can't be sitting here hiring this guy. You got to hire him to say, yo, fix this situation that I have here. Fix this. Not bench him. You've ruined it. Now, if I'm Bryce Young, bro, don't even look my way, bro. You know what? Matter of fact, Miami needs a quarterback. Trade me over there. Matter of fact, trade me somewhere where they'll actually appreciate this, because clearly you don't appreciate it. You can let Andy Dalton take care of it. And oh, by the way, y'all don't have no draft picks because y'all gave them all away. So good luck next year. Trade my ass somewhere else. I mean,
man. what they got in return for getting rid of DJ Moore and getting rid of CMC is laughably. And this is back to the organization point. If that would have been capitalized on, or if they would have found a way to just keep those guys, Rico, if they could have just kept those guys, bro, what does that team look like right now? Is it any better? I would think so. You know, this is the craziest part about it, is that all of these moves are made and nothing adequate is done with it. And then all of a sudden it's the quarterback's fault. And this is reminding me of something. I know the start for Tua wasn't nearly as bad as it's been for Bryce Young. But Brian Flores, remember when he was like tic-tac-toeing between Fitz and him week after week? And you saw what Tua said about Brian Flores, right? I mean, he essentially said that the guy ruined him mentally. Bryce Young, I feel bad for the kid, regardless of whether or not he's cut out for the NFL. You got to feel for him.
So Montgomery makes a good point. Maybe the coach is saving him. Is he? Was there a conversation saying, "Hey, man, you're not seeing things the way I need you to see it"? And he said, Canales said it. He says, "Man, I watched the tape. I looked it over. I watched it again. It just wasn't good. He's not seeing the things I needed to see, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera." So did you have that conversation to say, we still believe in you, but right now it's not time. I'm going to give Andy Dalton the chance. He's a veteran guy. He knows how to deal. He's had success in the game. Maybe this is your chance to sit. But you know what? You should have said this is a competition. I mean, it's hard to say that because he's #1 draft pick, but you should have said Andy Dalton and Bryce Young are going to compete for this job. You can come in. You're a new head coach. You can say that shit because I didn't draft this fool. Yes. So you two are going to compete, and that's what it's going to be.
To Matt's point, in a perfect world, Rico, that would be it. Hey, Bryce.
That's how you do it.
We believe in you, Bryce. Right now, we're going to see in a perfect world, that's what it would be. The NFL is not, they are not paid, nor do they get wins for trying to do what's best for an individual. Bryce Young, I would be stunned, unless there's an injury. I'd be stunned if he starts another game this entire season. Stunned. And with that said, I think I'd be stunned at this point if he starts another game for the Carolina Panthers.
So they'll probably treat him like they treated Trey Lance. You're sitting.
Great point. Great example.
You're sitting. Trey Lance.
How about the Niners' ability? This is right there's the best example imaginable of the separation between organization to organization. They trade a slew of draft pick. What was it? The 3rd overall pick they took Trey Lance with? Rico,
it was high.
Have you already forgotten that Trey Lance was a Niner? That's how good San Francisco is. They move off of him. Immediately back in the NFC, immediately back in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
They get it done over there because they know what they're doing. They whiffed. Everybody does. They admitted the whiff. I think right now, as shitty as it is for Bryce Young, this might be what they're doing in Carolina. And I don't know if I can blame Dave Canales for doing it.
Listen, that's the thing. As from a coaching standpoint, you got 52 other guys looking at you like, bro, we're losing. We're 0-2. The morale can go real low real quick. And then Canales is like, yo, they're going to fire me. Didn't look at the morale that was who was the coach? McDaniel that got fired for Raiders. The morale of the Raiders was low as heck.
Well, they
And
hated
said,
they hated Josh.
Get out of here. Yo, we don't want to play for your ass no more. Get out of here. And then here comes a new head coach in Pierce, and he's got these boys rolling and then rolls himself into a new contract. There are coaches that really kill a player, and there's some coaches that prop a player up. So we'll see, man. I had to ask you on that quarterback front because it's everybody's looking for that quarterback to lead them. And it's not easy, man. That's why the Bills had to go through it, man.
Yes.
The last time we had a successful quarterback was Jim Kelly. That's a lie. Hold on. Was it Jim? After Jim Kelly, we have had some decent quarterbacks.
Doug Flutie was good for a bit, but
great. You know what? I didn't want to disrespect someone. I knew I was going to move on someone. Doug Flutie gave us hope that okay, we can kind of. After that, we went through a bunch of them for years, and we sat here as fans saying, maybe next year. This is the year. We got it. Here comes name quarterback. Insert quarterback name here.
Literally.
And you can tell them that we thought we had something with him. There's one quarterback, JP Lossman. I was like, that's the guy. Cannon for an arm.
And then, of course, like Josh Allen, that's not the guy, right?
We got it. Here comes Big Trent. Check down Trent, right? I thought we had it with him. Boy, please, man.
I did love Tyrod, by the way. I love Tyrod.
Bro,
I still do.
I think wouldn't it be dope to have Tyrod come back as a back? I mean, it's not going to happen because it's just Tyrod. But Trubisky, I would have took Tyrod over Trubisky, that's for sure. But
I think Tyrod was one of the prettiest balls I've ever seen. I'm not even kidding.
Great deep ball. Great deep ball. By the way, GP comes in and says, "Yo, Fitz is ready to shave down. Let's go."
He's shaving?
McNerd just called out on TikTok for his what?
Remember last week? This is the Dungeons and Dragons with Mike McDaniel. The GP plays with him every week. GP goes to the Miami YMCA and plays Dungeons and Dragons with Mike McDaniel.
This is where you lost me.
Was he actually called out, GP? Like, did somebody make that joke outside of us? Because that would be funny. If he did, send it to me on Twitter. I'd love to see it. What's up with the Fitz shaving though? Fitz is shaving. I hope he doesn't shave that. That's like a half a decade beard in the works right there.
Fitzy's active on Twitter right now. He is all over it.
He just started the account. I know. Did you see his tweets?
He is active and he's rolling. He's on fire right now.
He's my favorite.
Walter says, "Yo, who do you guys think played better 4 games into their career, EJ or Allen?" Reason I asked that, thank God Marone wasn't our coach then when we drafted Allen, because who knows what would happen. Facts, man. Some of these coaches, they think they got it. They think they got it. He's a bum. He's this, he's that. Sometimes you just have to have a little bit of humility and patience, right?
They could have given up on Allen easily, because they could have just said, like, for whatever reason, the first year wasn't great at all. Obviously, they could have done it. But once again, this goes back to the point I was making, Rico. Josh Allen visually, despite the team not succeeding under him first year, you couldn't watch that guy and not say, "Oh man." That's what the Colts are saying right now about Anthony Richardson. It's just that I think he's got a longer road to travel in terms of reining it in than Allen did.
He said Fitz was on the E. Wood show and said he would wax down to get Buffalo in the Super Bowl. That would be pretty cool.
I wouldn't be shocked if someone said to Fitz, "Would you run out onto the Ralph Field ass naked for the Bills to win a bowl?" I guarantee you he'd probably consider it.
He'd be all over it.
Yeah.
He'd be all over it.
I mean, God knows I'd do it.
So with this game coming up, with these Jags, right? Hold on, we got a super chat coming from my guy Super Lance. What's up, Super Lancer? Hey, Rico and Z-Bot, just wanted to say hi, big hello to you both. I'm repping the Buffalo Bills here in Windsor, Ontario. So
he's on your side of the one.
To my guy from Windsor, Ontario, we running through the Jags 36-20.
Hey, I'll sign up for that, Soup.
I'll sign up for that for sure, my G. Here's the thing. By the way, Soup, have you ever been to Newfoundland? If you have, let me know how that was, because I'm supposed to head down in the next couple weeks. So we'll see. Here's the deal. Before we get out of here, because I want to get back on this Jags. So what do you need to see in this upcoming Jags game that will give us that dub, that will push us towards that win? Is there anything specific that you need to see from somebody or a scheme or something that needs to be done coming up for this upcoming game, obviously against the Jags?
So let's talk about the Jaguars' biggest struggle thus far, and let's talk about the Bills' maybe biggest surprise thus far in terms of their success. And that's the Bills' defense's ability to be able. I think, Rico, I know. Like you said earlier, it does not feel like it's only week 3, which is crazy because it felt like it took forever for the season to get here. Then it felt like week 1 flew by. But now that the Bills have had this 11-day gap, it really does feel like it's the middle of November right now. But it was a week and a half ago where we're sitting on our couch at a 1 p.m. Eastern window watching Kyler Murray and James Conner walk right down this Bills team, drive after drive after drive for the first half. And you're thinking to yourself, a lot of turnover on this Bills D. Going to be a long year.
Yep.
They go to the half. Kyler Murray and those Cardinals looked like a different team showed up in the second half offensively. You then go against what many would say would be the highest powered offense in the league against Mike McDaniel's led Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
I mean, that was embarrassing is the only way to put it in terms of what the Dolphins did offensively in that game. If you're looking at what the Jaguars have put on display through the first 2 weeks, Rico, that same Dolphins team, the Bills had 31 points against the Dolphins, Rico. They didn't score a single touchdown in the second half. They barely did anything offensively in the second half because that game, Rico, like as soon as Tua got hurt, didn't it feel like both teams were just kind of taking a knee essentially to end that game? It just felt like that. The Jaguars put up 17 points against the Miami Dolphins in week 1. Trevor Lawrence only completed 12 balls for 162 yards in that game. And the Dolphins are susceptible, as we know, to defensively allowing teams to get up on them. And that usually spells trouble. And the Bills have done that pretty much every time they've played them the last couple of years here. 17 points against a Dolphins team that the Bills were going up and down the field on. Then you go to this Browns game, which we know Cleveland defensively, that's their strong suit, and it always has been. And Cleveland will remain a top 10 defensive team until you're drastically proven otherwise.
For sure.
13 points against those Browns. Trevor Lawrence in that game, Rico, as I mentioned at the top of the show, 14 of 30, less than a 50% completion percentage. Travis Etienne in that game, Rico, 13 carries for only 52 yards. So to me, this is going to come down defensively to keeping the Jaguars at where they've been the last couple of weeks, and that's not being able to do much offensively. I think the Jags defense is underrated, holding the Dolphins to 20 points outside of the Bills, who just seem to have the Dolphins figured out under Sean McDermott. Holding the Dolphins to 20 points is an accomplishment. The Jaguars probably should have won that game. And then I know the Browns are struggling mightily offensively, and Deshaun Watson looks like a shell of himself, but they held them to 18 points as well. And usually 18 points isn't going to get you the W, but it did. And that's why I think the biggest factor in this one is going to be this Bills defense. Von Miller right now, I think he has one of the best pressure rates in the league when he's attacking the quarterback. He's looking like the old Von Miller, which is incredible. I never thought we'd see this. We should have taken his word for it. I didn't. My God, he wasn't kidding. We just hope it can continue. But the sample size we have thus far, Rico, is exactly what he said it would be. And that's, I feel better than ever, and I'm ready to get back out there. Greg Rousseau, I mean, he's looking like one of the biggest defensive threats in the league right now. Ed Oliver is going to start getting involved. And then, of course, you have Christian Benford right now, I think, is the best corner in the league. Not only
I love Christian Benford, man.
Unreal. So I think the defense in this one has the ability, when you couple that with what the Jags have done through the first 2 weeks, to really be the advantage in this game. Right. And then offensively, Rico, this is a Bills team that has won damn near every single regular season game that they've played under Joe Brady outside of an OT loss to the Eagles, doing what they've done best under him. And that's complementary football. James Cook is looking like one of the best running backs in the league through 2 weeks. And we haven't even had to unleash Josh Allen yet. So I'm looking at this game Monday night, 11 days rest, Josh Allen hand healthier, at home, under the lights. Jags offense not seeming to get it underway, and I don't know how you get it going against the Sean McDermott defense. I think the majority of the advantages in this game, Rico, they all lead towards the Bills. And because of that, I don't see how the Bills don't go 0-3 on Monday night unless they revert back to things they haven't been doing the first 2 weeks, and that's turning the ball over and just kind of getting in their own way. I think if the Bills play clean football like they've played the last 2 weeks on both ends, I don't know how they don't get out of there with a W. How do you see it?
First of all, big shout out to everybody tuned in. We've had a steady crowd tonight, so big shout out to everybody. But do us a favor. I mean, just because my man Z-Bot's getting married this week, dude, smash that like for our guy Z-Bot. Smash because he lost 30 pounds, looking sexy and slim and trimmed, ready to get married. The beard is looking trimmed up, ready to go. Smash that like and let's get us to 1,000 likes. And you know what? Let's be nice. Let's get to 500 likes in this video and let's keep it rolling.
That's fair.
I think that's fair. That's fair. So here's how I see things going. If we can keep up the trend of and what's been working, and that's McDermott ball. And McDermott ball he's been wanting to do this have this McDermott ball. Play good defense and run the football. What coach doesn't want that? Right? And if we need to break the glass and let our guy get going, he will, and we will unleash him. And I think that Joe Brady, Babbage, and Coach McDermott, that's a great trio. The big three in Buffalo. They got things racking right now and cracking. So you got to give them love right now. But it's the running the football and defending that's got me really excited. And I'm looking forward to seeing more. And Josh doesn't have to put everything on his back. Now, they're going to try to get after us. They're going to try to run. And how wild is this for me to say? They're going to try to stop the run and make Josh Allen pass. How wild. I sound foolish even saying that.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Sign me up. Right. So this is where it's great, because what it used to be was Josh was the air raid guy. He used to throw that thing around. So Josh Hines Allen used to just get after him. Right. We remember that game where he picked off Allen, and that was just crazy from there. The point I'm trying to make is this. Let's continue. Let's not change the formula. Let's continue to do what we do until they stop it. Then unleash the beast in Josh Allen. So until then, James Cook, get ready. Ray Davis, get ready. Sweet baby Ray, get ready to get going. And then we'll start to sprinkle in our guys. Like, what's the mantra right now? Everybody eats. So the real question is, who's going to eat this week? That's the real question. So is like first week, Keon Coleman. We'll say it was Keon Coleman, 4 for 51. Bet. Second week, Khalil Shakir, 4 for 50. Seems to be the theme going forward. This week, who is it going to be? Who do you stop? Are you gonna put the pressure on stopping the run? Fine. We're gonna have to air the football out. You guys don't have what it takes defensively to really keep up with what Josh Allen can do with his legs and through the air. Question is, where is he going to strike? Who is he going to strike to? And we go from there. So I love where we're at defensively. I love where we're at offensively, which is crazy because we're missing Taron Johnson. We're missing Matt Milano. We're missing Terrell Bernard. It's crazy how we're doing so well. This is why I was like, are we over? What's the word I'm looking for? When you're doing better than what you're supposed to do.
Overachieving.
Are we overachieving? Thank you for that, because it was eluding me. Are the Bills overachieving? And this is what I'm battling with right now. Did we overachieve over the Cardinals? Did we overachieve over the Dolphins? We seem to have the number over the Dolphins. So for me, I don't count the Dolphins because we just own them. So really and truly, this is going to be a great test. Are we overachieving, or are we where we are? I think this week is going to answer the question. So we just got to stick to it. Run the freaking football, defend, and play hard. We should be able to come away with a week 3 win, and we go up 3-0. And now that will answer a lot of questions. Like you said earlier, if you're looking for answers to be and questions to be answered, they will. Talk to me, Bot. What do you got? What's US telling us?
I was gonna just read my damn mind, Rico. I'm wondering where you're at. So right now on BetUS, as we mentioned at the top of the show, these Buffalo Bills are a 5.5 point home favorite on Monday Night Football against these Jacksonville Jaguars. Over under a 45.5. The under hit last week against the Dolphins. Over went over against the Cardinals. Obviously, looking at this spread. I know it's cliche. The one thing you have to factor in here, I know everybody hates when you say this, but it is something. There is something to the desperation of a team that knows their season can virtually end in week 3. How demoralizing could it possibly be for an entire franchise to know that the odds of us making the postseason, we have a better chance of essentially hitting the Powerball if we lose a third straight game, and we're not even into October yet, and our season's pretty much null and void? the desperation factor is a real thing. Is it enough to overcome what the Buffalo Bills bring to the table in the way of the Jacksonville Jaguars? I just don't think that it is. But I do think the Bills get the Jacksonville Jaguars' best crack. This isn't going to be, in my opinion, what we saw this past Thursday night. And I think it probably won't be what we saw in the second half against the Cardinals. The Jags, not only have they played the Bills exceptionally well when they have played them, but they do have the desperation factor that I think is going to propel them to probably play the best game that they've played through 3 weeks here. But I go back to what we've been talking about all night. 11 days rest. It's Monday Night Football in Buffalo under the lights. It just feels like everything's stacked up against these Jacksonville Jaguars, not to mention the Bills through 2 weeks have played some of the best football in the league. So looking at this 5.5 point spread, Rico, I think the Bills just barely cover it. I think the Buffalo Bills end up winning this game 26-20. I think they go with the formula that's gotten them there throughout Joe Brady's tenure here. They're going to not, revert from any of that. I still think that this team running the football right now is as good of a Bills team as we've seen. If they can continue to have James Cook bring to the table what he has, this team's going to be one of the toughest outs in football. But I do think offensively, Jacksonville is going to do their best to right the ship this week. But I just don't know right now if I can confidently say the way that they've been playing and the way the Bills defense is playing that they're going to be able to crack that 20-point mark. And the Bills, I don't know if they're going to do 3 straight games at 30-plus points, but they're going to be just on the cusp of it. I got the Bills covering by a half point here, Rico, 26-20 Monday night to go 3-0. What say you?
26-20. Well, listen, we put up 30 points the first game. We put another 30 points up second game. I mean, I want to keep this. I want to keep the trend up.
Me too.
And we're at home against Jacksonville. Although we will get Jacksonville's best crack, I think it's going to be one of those situations where Jacksonville continues to show that they're a struggling team, and I think they're going to show more struggle against the Bills. The Bills know what time it is, and we're at home. I like the fact that we're at home.
Me too.
So 26-20 is a great score. I don't think they put up 20 points. I think that we keep them less than 20. I think it's going to be close nonetheless. I think it's going to be around the 24-16, 24-19-ish, around that. I think we keep them under 20, and we keep it rolling. So definitely cover the spread, and I like that. Bills win, they cover the spread, and I think we keep them under 20 points. I think this defense is surging, man. So there was something that I wanted to see up here. There it is. There it is right here. Beth B. What's up, Beth? Beth comes in and says Lawrence likes the deep shots. Apparently, 29% of his throws are over 20 yards. So he likes that taking that long shot. But here's the deal. When you're hitting over 20 yards, that means you got your drop back is not 3 steps. You're taking a 5-step to a 7-step.
You need time.
If you're taking a 5-step drop. Hey, man, we coming for your ass, boy. We coming for your ass. Here comes Vaughn. Here comes Greg. Here comes Ed Oliver. And this is why you've been sacked 7 times in 2 games. You've been pressured, I think, 13 times. And by the way, guess what? The Bills pressure 40% of the time. So the numbers are not looking good for the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's why I like this game to go to the Bills. I like it 24-18. I'll say 24-18. I like that score. I mean, how they get to that point, who cares? Don't really matter. As long as we have them under 20, that's the way I like to keep it. So big shout out to the Bills, big dub coming their way.
I'm open. If you're on Rico and I's page, by the way, if you think the Bills are going to cover, and we both have them slightly covering, YouTube 150 is the promo code right now on BetUS. 150% sign up bonus, up to $2,000 on your first deposit. 125% sign up bonus on your 2 and 3 deposits after, or your second and third deposit after that. I think a slight cover is not the craziest prediction, because I just think right now through 2 weeks, the Bills are a 6-point team better than what the Jacksonville Jaguars have displayed.
I kind of like what Matthew said here. It says Jags OTs are not great. Their slot corners to be exploited. We'll see. And big game from our DEs and Shakir. I love this. Shakir.
Oh, so you think Shakir?
Maybe it's the Keon Coleman game. He's trying to outdo Brian Thomas Jr. because the Bills allegedly were wanted to take Brian Thomas Jr. over Keon Coleman. You know what I'm saying? Now Gabe Davis is on that squad. Keon Coleman's supposed to be the Gabe Davis replacement. So could this be the Keon Coleman game? We'll soon see. Shout out to my guy Super Lancer. He says, "Yo, I've been to Newfoundland a few times. St. John's and Deer Lake. Only went there due to my previous job as a flight attendant. Had short layovers. Yeah, I'm going to be there for a week, so I know nothing about it. All I was told was to go to George Street and have a good time.
Is that just vacation for you, or you like have a reason?
This is work. This is work. They're sending me. So I got my new gig is I'm a trainer now. So I go ahead and talk my ish and do my spiel and make sure these guys are doing what they're supposed to do. So they send me all over the place now. So I'll be doing a little travel. So these shows that I'll be doing sometime in October will be a different area. Maybe I'll bring my green screen with me. But I'll be setting up shop in a hotel, man. That's what's going to be happening. So shout out to my man Super Lancer. Super Lancer also comes back and says, Z-Bot, about to be the next 007. Smash that like. My man came out with it. that. Z-Bot, before we get out of here, bro, you're going to be part of the pick'ems. I usually do the pick'ems on a Friday show, so you're going to be part of it.
Let's do it. All the games?
Yo, we picking games, baby.
Hell yeah. Okay, let's do it.
Picking games before we get out of here. So, first up on the docket, the New York Giants travel to Cleveland. They travel to Cleveland. Hold on, we got a super chat coming in. This is the year for Shakir, baby. Enough said. Yo, I'm looking forward to it, man. We need that. I'm not saying I was calling him out, but I want to see someone emerge as that guy. You know what I mean? I know that everybody eats. I get that part, but there's going to come a time where we have to lean on someone to make a play. Is it Kincaid? Is it Keon? Is it Shakir? I get it. The line right now is everybody eats. I'm with that. But there's going to be a time where I'm like, yo, I got to trust somebody. I need somebody to go ahead and make a play.
I think he is that guy.
Make a play. I can't. That's what I want to hear. What?
I think he is that guy for Allen, the trust guy. If you've noticed, when they need a big play, he tends to be the target. And man, we talked about it last week. His catching ability is up there with the best I've seen. Like, everything that comes his way gets brought in.
It's so crazy because remember we used to say, oh, but he drops footballs and stuff. He ain't that guy no more.
I don't remember. I don't even remember when that was a thing. So if it ever was, to show you how far it's come.
He was dropping every other ball as his rookie, and then he just put it together. So here we go.
Half the year, you're right. It changed a lot. It's crazy.
Yeah, it changed a lot, boy. Here we go. The Giants travel to Cleveland. You got Brian Dable and Mr. Daniel Jones traveling.
Ken Dorsey, by the way. That's Ken Dorsey versus Dable right there.
Dable, Ken Dorsey. So the storylines are there. Listen, Daniel Jones had a much better game last game.
Yeah,
he actually had over 250 yards passing. No touchdown passes thrown. It was all field goals, but there seems to be promise. And Malik Neighbors really came out to play. And he had 10 receptions for over 110 yards or something like that. Jalen Hyatt allegedly is asking for a trade, but he's denied that. So what do you say? Do the Giants squeak in there and take down Deshaun Watson and led by Ken Dorsey and this really great defense for the Browns? What say you? And right now, the lines, I don't know, Bet US is saying what the lines are, but the lines right now is 6.5 Cleveland.
Yep, that's what I got on Bet US. I could see. I think the Giants cover that spread, but you just said it. The defense, I don't know where.
You think the Giants cover the spread?
That 6.5, yeah, I think they cover it. I don't think. Really? I don't think the Browns offensively have what it takes to beat anybody by more than 6.5 right now. I mean, everyone wants to say after this week, it's killing me. Everybody's like, "Oh, who's laughing now about Deshaun Watson?" I mean, dude, he had a average game by a top quarterback. Like, this is your he's back game. I don't see it offensively, especially with Nick Chubb, not being in the fold. It's just not the same team. I don't like the vibe around Cleveland at all. I have no trust in Cleveland. It honestly wouldn't stun me. If there was one upset of the week, this wouldn't blow my mind.
You got to pick an upset, by the way. One game has to be an upset.
I'm not going to pick this one as it, but if I did see it, I don't think I'd be like, oh my God, did you see the Giants beat the Browns? I do think the Browns hang on, though. Defensively, I think that's the factor. I don't know where the Giants are going to get enough points in this one to win, but I don't think Cleveland's going to score an exorbitant amount of points either. But Cleveland, in a game that you think could be a blowout based on how the Giants have looked, but I think it's going to be closer than you think. Cleveland takes it, though.
You know what? I'm in agreement. I say Cleveland takes it. I just don't think the Giants just have enough. Malik Neighbors is great. The Giants defense is not horrible. They're not bad.
Right.
But I think Deshaun Watson is putting something together. I think he is putting something together. So, but I think Cleveland takes it. As for the spread, I think they cover this. I think they cover it more than 6.5. I think the defense is strong enough to just make Daniel Jones revert back to whoever. Now, if he comes in and shocks the world, great, but Cleveland takes it. Next up, Malik Willis. The Malik Willis led Green Bay Packers to a win last week. He's going up against the Will Levis Titans. Will Levis can't give those balls away. I tell you right now, man. So it's crazy. Malik Willis going up against his old team that discarded him, that said, peace, bro. You ain't good enough for us here.
Yep.
This is a revenge game. He claims it's not. He says, I actually thank them. They did great by me. I just didn't take advantage. And that's a great response. But bump all that bullshit. You going up against your old team. You got to show up. Green Bay Packers, Tennessee Titans, who you got? The line right now is -3 Tennessee.
Titans defense has looked really good. They could be 2-0 if it weren't for the Will Levis blunders. And I got to think that gets corrected, at least to some degree. I don't think you're ever going to rein him in entirely, but you got to think after 2 weeks, there's got to be a conversation being had in that building. And I think it might come back down to earth a little bit in terms of him just throwing the ball over the field and putting his team in a bad spot. Titans get their first win of the year this upcoming weekend. Really close game. I think it's going to be right on that spread. I got the Titans winning by a field goal. If Love was in there, I'd take the Packers all day, but I think the Titans get their first W.
I'm the opposite. I think Green Bay takes it. Green Bay's defense is really good. They're solid. They got a great run game with Josh Jacobs. You can't sleep on Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
And Malik Willis, I think that he's motivated to do some good things against Tennessee. The reason I say Green Bay takes it is because I think Will Levis will not learn from his errors, and he's going to give the ball away again, or he'll be gun shy. And if he's gun shy, we got a problem. So give me Green Bay over Tennessee. So actually, I got to write this shit down because we're going to revisit this next Friday.
All right, good.
When we do our show. So I think we were in agreement on the first game, right? We said Cleveland's going to get this one.
Yep.
So we'll say Cleveland over the Giants. And you're saying, you said you got Tennessee taking this one?
Yep.
All right. So Boss got Tennessee. I got Green Bay. All right, here we go. Next up, Chicago, Indianapolis. What a brutal game. What a brutal game.
This is a brutal game.
Yo, give me Chicago, man. Give me Chicago.
Give me Indianapolis. 0-2 start. They had the Texans on the ropes week 1. They didn't look great at all last week.
You're taking Indy? Nice.
I'm taking Indy in this one. Indy gets their first W. Chicago, I got to see it to believe it. Offensively last week and the week prior, bad. Yeah, real bad. This offensive line is a real problem for Caleb Williams and company. And I just think the Colts right now, they've looked good enough to get a W. I can't believe Chicago won week 1. It feels like the Colts are due. Give me the Colts in this game.
By the way, I didn't think Love would play this game, but they're saying he might, but I doubt he does. Right. I don't think he does.
Matt's ready is questionable. I highly doubt he plays. I wouldn't play it. Yeah.
So you like Chicago, you like Indy in this game. I'm taking Chicago. I just feel that I think Rome Odunze is playing. I think that defense is solid. The Bears defense is great. They just can't afford to just putting up the numbers they've been putting. And I think Caleb Williams finally shows that he can freaking throw a touchdown pass. You got DJ Moore, you got Rome Odunze, Keenan Allen's hurt. I get it. You got DeAndre Swift, bro. Get it done. Get it done offensively. Do something. So I got Chicago. You got Indy.
By the way, speaking of which, the Colts facing that 0-2 frame as well. I mean, that's a team that we thought could be pushing for a playoff chance. They need to have this game. So give me the Colts.
All right. You got the Colts. All right. Here we go. Houston at Minnesota.
Ooh, this is a sneaky good one.
You got the 2-0 Colts. The 2-0 Texans going on to Minnesota. So Minnesota is coming off a big win against the 49ers. Listen, Sam Darnold was like, I'm that dude. You should have never cut me, Shanahan. So here, let me hang this bomb on your head. And Justin Jefferson, by the way, he felt good. He's healthy. He's going to be playing this game. So that changes everything. Houston, on the other hand, they got C.J. Stroud, a young phenom. The defense is a solid defense. I mean, listen, they're led by a great coach. Texans have Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Steph Diggs.
I think Nico Collins
Joe Mixon is down, though. They don't have Joe Mixon.
I think Nico Collins is hurt, too.
Guess we're gonna
Yeah,
find
Nico
out. So
Collins is injured. He's not a guarantee for Sunday either.
he's not a guarantee. So he's up
cleared
and
to
down.
go
So they got
tonight.
Tank Dell and
He's cleared
Steph.
to
So
play.
maybe this might be the Steph Diggs game, or does Minnesota say, no, I don't care what all you got. I'm Brian Flores. I got this defense humming. I just took down the 49ers last week. It is on. Texans, Vikings.
Keep the Vikings train running. Games in Minnesota.
Hey.
Narrow win for Houston week 1. Narrow win last week against that good Chicago defense. They couldn't put them away. Chicago still, as bad as they played offensively, had a chance at the end. Keep that something special with Darnold rolling in Minnesota. I'd love to see a Texans loss this upcoming weekend. And I think the vibes are high in Minnesota. Give me the Vikings at home.
The vibes are high in Minnesota. So here's how I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this as Bobby Slowick is a young offensive coordinator that I think that he wants to have these guys go off. If Nico Collins is off, time to lean into Stephon Diggs. They just lost their tight end in Jarvin. Jared. I can't remember who it was, but they lost the tight end that was a good second tight end. So guess what? Schultz is going to be available to make some big moves. So I like CJ Stroud to really light things up. So I'm going to go Texans over Vikings. I think Sam Darnold reverts back to Sam Darnold, and there's going to be some frustrating times. I think the Texans take down the Vikings. So we're not seeing eye to eye here.
I know, I like it.
I like it a lot. And by the way, the line here is Houston -2. Houston -2. So it's like a toss up because Minnesota's
That's
at
gonna
home.
be a good game. Dude, nothing better than Sunday stress free without the Bills waiting on them. Great slate this weekend. I can't wait.
Here's another storyline for you. Stephon Diggs returns to Minnesota. Hey, that should be an interesting one.
That's a good one. I didn't even think about that. But
Here we
yeah,
go.
I don't know. Minnesota. I think slight win for Minnesota.
Philadelphia Eagles. This one's a good one. Philly Eagles against the New Orleans Saints. Traveling to New Orleans Saints in NOLA in the Superdome. What say you? The line right now is 2.5.
Give me the Saints. I don't trust Philadelphia at all. Abysmal end of that game for Philly on Monday night. Short week, and they're going to have to ride that. Like, I don't know how you don't get a bit demoralized after that Monday night. I don't know how, dude, Rico, I fell asleep during that game. I was over at my in-laws, and my brother-in-law, we're watching it downstairs, and I like passed out on the chair. And this was when the Eagles were driving to just ice the game. And my brother-in-law woke me up. He goes, dude, you see what happened? I'm like, oh, Philly closed it out? Nope. I'm like, how? What even happened? I'm like, dude, I opened my eyes and they were in the red zone icing the game out. Brutal loss, short week. And dude, like we talked about earlier, this is that prove how good you are for real Saints type game. Yep. And I think that they're going to want to do it. Give me the Saints to start 3-0 and locking themselves in as a real threat in the NFC.
Listen, how good would that be for the NFL? Saints 3-0, Derek Carr really doing it. Dennis Allen as head coach. Yes. I was like, yo, Dennis Allen, get that guy out of here. Derek Carr, you're washed. Derek Carr's like, nah, bro, I'm not washed. Now we got a team. Chris Olave. I got Alvin Kamara just really cranking things up. Rashid Shaheed is killing it, bro. They look good out there, man. So
dude, Derek Carr had almost over 250 yards, I think, last week on 11 completions.
Sick.
I mean, disgusting. Yeah. Disgusting. And like you said earlier with the Jets, you said the league's better when the Jets are better. The league is also better when the Saints are better too. And I think that this could be a real fun storyline if they win.
Listen, man, Beth says if Saints been on fire, I take them here too. Yo, Beth, I'm with you.
Beth.
We're both with you. All right, here we go. Next slate. This one's a tough one, man. This one's a really tough one. You got a defensive-minded coach in Tomlin hosting the LA Chargers that have found themselves a run game with new head coach or old head coach Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh returns to the NFL, and he's facing Mike Tomlin. This is in Pittsburgh. The line right now, Pittsburgh -3.
Herbert's been banged up.
Yep.
The Steelers make no sense in the funnest way possible. There's few teams in the league I have more respect for than Mike Tomlin. I mean, I know it hasn't been great the last few years. Dude, how these guys, they have more wins right now than touchdowns. I don't understand these guys, but Mike Tomlin finds a way.
Yo, I can't trust Justin Fields.
I can't either. I can't either, but this defense is off the charts. And it's in Pittsburgh. Wow, this is a really tough one, Rico. This game might finish like 12-9. This is that type of game I'm seeing here.
You're not wrong. It could finish that way.
Yeah. Give me. Wow. This is basically flip a coin and pick. Give me. So they're both 2-0, right? So one of them has got to be 3-0. It's crazy to think one of these teams will be 3-0 right now, the way that they.
Listen, I'm going to jump in right now. Give me the Steelers. I'll tell you why I give you.
That's
give me
where
the
I'm leaning.
Give me the Steelers, not because of Justin Fields, but because of TJ Watt. This guy is nasty. He's a game changer. He's an absolute game changer. You have to account for him. He's like Myles Garrett. He was like Jared Allen when Jared Allen was playing. He's that dude. He was like you name it. Like who was that? The Panthers great. It's not coming to me right
Luke
now.
Kuechly?
No, the end.
Oh,
Good at North Carolina. He was 6'6". You just had to know where he hit. You guys know what I'm talking about. Defensive end. He's gonna be a Hall of Famer, no question.
Where'd he play at?
Defensive end. He played for the Bears. He played for the Panthers, and he played for the Peppers. Julius Peppers.
Oh, well, you're talking way back in the day.
Yeah, way back.
Okay.
Julius Peppers. You had to know where Julius Peppers was. Thank you, by the way. Wolfgang was like, I got you, bro. Julius Peppers was you had to know where it is. TJ Watt is that guy. He's so good. So good. So I'm give me Pittsburgh. Give me Pittsburgh because of TJ Watt.
Man, I'm leaning Pittsburgh too for some crazy reason. The thought of this team being 3-0 is insane to me, but it's at home. Maybe a slight factor. 1
Mike
p.m.
Tomlin.
window. 1 p.m. window, Rico, from LA to Pittsburgh. Give me the Colt, or give me the Steelers in one of the ugliest games I think you'll ever see.
Okay, and Walter makes a great point here. He goes, the Steelers are the Chargers are more run heavy. You're right, but Justin Herbert is hurt. So who are you going to back? I don't even know who the hell the backup is. So whoever the backup is.
Don't you remember the Bills showdown with Easton Stick last year?
Easton Stick. That's right.
Yeah.
Easton Stick. So there's going to be a time where Easton Stick has to throw the football.
Yeah.
You're going to have to throw the football, Easton. You can't run the ball all game. You're going to get caught by our guy. So we're going to find out, man. Shout out to my guy, Silas. Silas, I'm surprised you're not rolling with rolling and doing a live show, brother. Unless you just ended, because this boy's been killing those live shows, bro. I appreciate you, bro. Let's roll, man. Let's next up, Denver, Tampa. Give me Tampa.
Oh God, yeah.
Yo, Baker Mayfield, bro.
Good for him. I'm stoked. I'm stoked for Baker Mayfield.
I love me Baker Mayfield. There's a bit of a spice to Baker Mayfield. He's got some sauce to him, and right now he's really showing out and doing what he's got to do. So, Bo Nix, though, you said Bo Nix is playing well.
No, well, I like the way he looks. Like, to me, the way that he looks on the field athletically, I can see it working. But he's not playing well at all.
Heineke, not Easton Stick. They got Heineke. I like Heineke.
They do have Easton Stick too, though. I don't know who would get the start though.
Maybe Heineke. He's got a little more sauce to him.
I would hope it would be Heineke. I mean, if they were up to me, but either way, I still like Pittsburgh for some weird reason. I have no idea why.
Salute, Silas. That's our guy right there. Here we go. Next up. So we both agree. Tampa. We take that.
Yes.
I don't even want to bother going. Actually, you know what? This might be the trap game. Carolina with Andy Dalton versus the Vegas Raiders.
Give me the Panthers.
This is your upset of the week.
This is my upset of the week. You just said it. This has Panthers written all over it. You bench Bryce Young, Dalton comes in, the offense looks somewhat competent. Vegas is coming off an insanely improbable win, 10-point deficit against the Ravens. They're riding high, and they somehow find a way to lose to the Carolina Panthers. And then the narrative all week is going to be, can you just see it now? This is why you bench. This is why you had to bench Bryce Young. This and that. You can just see it. The rejuvenation of the team. They're going to get a spark from Andy Dalton, the veteran. I don't know why it's speaking to me. Give me the Panthers in my upset of the week.
That's an absolute what a pick.
Think about it like this, Rico. Are they going to go 0-6? Are they going to go 0-17? The odds are improbable. There's
the
a
line
very
right now.
small chance.
Raiders are at home, and the line is only -6. That's crazy.
At the very minimum, they're covering that spread. But I'm sticking with my guns.
The truth says you're betting against Minshew.
I know Minshew's the modern day Fitz. If you don't love Minshew, something wrong with you. But Minshew got his big W last week. Give me the Panthers.
All right, you got the Panthers. I'm taking the Raiders all day. I don't care what you're telling me. Raiders got it. Devontae. Max Crosby, that defensive line is like they're nasty. Christian Wilkins is out there. Bro, they're gonna take this. The
I hate
Panthers
the pick, by the way. I hate it, but it's one of those things where I'm like,
I like it because that's gonna be a big one. You better put some money on that.
oh hell no, that isn't getting $1 out of me that game. God no.
All right, here we go. Here's my upset of the week. You got the Panthers. You got the Seattle Seahawks hosting Miami. I'm taking Miami to win this one. I think they're gonna rely heavily on A-Chain. I think the defense is gonna have to come alive. You're gonna have to shut down DK Metcalf, Jalen. You could put Jalen Ramsey there, and then Javon Holland. Guys are gonna have to step their game up. And I think this is the game that is gonna be. Skyler shows a little something. He hits a fluke shot to Tyreek. You know what I mean? Things happen. So give me Miami. That's my upset of the week over the Seahawks.
Mike McDonald defense, way too good. Geno Smith playing pretty well. DK Metcalf, monster game last week. There's no way I see Miami offensively against a defense in Seattle who is pretty damn good. I don't see it for Miami. Give me Seattle in this game.
Oh, Buffalo. He likes Seattle. Beth likes Miami. Yo, Rico, you tripping, smoking that medical. Listen, man. DK cooking Ramsey. I mean, it may happen. Who's home? Seattle's home. They got to travel west.
Yeah, I mean that's got Seattle written all over it.
It does, but you know what? I'm gonna go. That's gonna be my upset. It's running the football. You got to run the football. Kenneth Walker is out. He's doubtful again. It's gonna be Charbonneau. And I'm not saying Charbonneau isn't great, but Charbonneau is not Kenneth Walker, and he's just not that guy. You're not that guy, pal. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. That's my upset. Skylar Thompson shows a little something. He's got more sauce. He can scramble. So if he needs to run the football, he's going to run the football, and we're going to find out. So that's my upset of the week. Let's go to the next one. We're almost done here. Baltimore, Dallas. Dallas is at home hosting this one. So look at the line. The line -1.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly a reflection of what this game feels like. Baltimore, no question about it. This might get some significant money from the bot bank on a bet, and I hate it because I'm really. This is kind of one of those things where I'm going to hedge it from a fan perspective and a financial perspective. Financially, I think Baltimore wins. From my heart, I'm really hoping Baltimore loses, so I'm going to win either way. I'm with you, Silas.
Silas is like Dallas. I want chaos.
I want this to be the game because I'm going to watch this whole. I'm not even going to do red zone. I'm going to do this game in its entirety. Brady's on the call. This will be my first opportunity to actually watch a full.
Oh, Brady's calling this game?
3 straight Cowboys games for Brady. I mean, of course, right?
Right.
I'm going to enjoy the living hell out of this one. But what have I always said about the Cowboys? They're the NFC. They're the NFC Dolphins. And what do the Dolphins do? They lose every big game that they're in. Dallas, this is a huge game. And I just
Dallas?
No. I'm taking Baltimore. Baltimore's winning this game.
Me too. I'm taking Baltimore. I think the Ravens absolutely need this. They know they need this. This is a must win. Must. And how crazy week 3 and we're talking about must win. And that's just the way it is, man. It's a must win.
This league.
I would love it but I would also love the storyline of the Ravens losing to going 0-3. God,
I would love it so much.
The storylines would be on them. Buffalo just sneaks underneath, and not a whole lot of people talk about Buffalo, and we straight like that.
Would love it.
Ravens. I like the Ravens for this game. Here we go. San Fran listen, give me San Fran. San Fran versus LA.
Dude, the Rams are so bad. I mean, it's give me the Rams.
Let me tell you something, man. I feel awful for our guy, former Bill Trey White.
Oh, dude, you see him? He was getting cooked, man. Oh, man.
And it's not about like you had me in the first half, bitch. You had me in the first half, second half, all the half. Like it's. I'm not saying it's over for him, but it's rough coming back. That's tough, man. That's tough coming back. And you paying them LA taxes? Oof. Here we go. Detroit. Ooh, this is a good one. Detroit at Arizona.
Big game. I'm excited about this one. We're going to learn about these Cardinals.
Yo, I feel good about Arizona. Give me Arizona again. John Connor. Listen, James Conner is running hard. I said we call him John Connor. James Conner is running hard, bro. Yo,
Detroit did not look good against Tampa at all last week. Dude, my gut's telling me Arizona too. Give me the Cardinals. I don't know why. I got no analysis for you. That's a gut.
Well, here's the analysis for you. Right now, Kyler has found his mojo. He's feeling good. First week, the Bills stifled him. He's like, all right, I thought I had you guys, but you guys came back. You guys put a good game plan together, and I just couldn't see over the line, right? You got Russo doing this, and you can't. Cool. Then he lights up the joint against the Rams. So he's like, now he's got his mojo back. Now we got a little something now. Now we're cooking, me and you. But I don't know, man. Detroit's like, yo, man, we from the D. We don't play around. So I don't give a fuck. Give me Arizona. I'm taking Arizona.
Me too.
I like Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think Williams is overrated. What's his name? Jameson Williams, overrated. He ain't doing nothing for me. Love Montgomery. I love what the Lions are doing, but every year is different. I can't expect the same shit y'all did last year expected this year. Everything is different.
Silas, this is a good point. The Cardinals O-line is not that great at all, and Detroit's going to eat. Aiden Hutchinson had 5 sacks last week, and they still lost to the Bucs. So this is going to come down to Jared Goff. And I just think right now, dude, Kyler Murray last week, I'm sorry. That was insane. The touchdown he had on the scramble to the left side of the field, he made 3 grown-ass professional men fall on their feet like they were hitting the deck, praying up to their Lord. It was unbelievable. And then he turned around on the throw. He called his shot. It was like, I don't even know, Jordan shooting a 3 and then turning around and facing the crowd before it even hit the net. They're on one right now. Give me the Cardinals.
I like Cardinals, man. And Marvin Harrison Jr. He's got to prove himself again. Give me something. When 2 guys are cooking, it don't matter what you can do. James is running the ball well. You got these 2 guys going. They got some complementary pieces in Dortch. I think Greg Dortch.
Yep.
And you got Wilson. I mean, they're not a bad squad. The O-line shaky.
Tight end solid.
But you know what? When you have an O-line that's shaky, you need a mobile quarterback. So I like Detroit, but I think I'm gonna give it to Arizona. Murray actually playing like Murray. Don't like him at all, but I respect it. I mean, shoot, we'll see, man. We'll see. Let's see. Last but not least, we got a couple more games. Kansas City at Atlanta.
Come on, Kirko Chains. What do you got for me, buddy? Another primetime W for Kirko and company. No, Chiefs defense is good. Chiefs defense.
No.
The Falcons should have lost last week. They pulled that game out of their ass. And this is the scariest part about the Chiefs. Even when they don't play well, they somehow find a way. That defense to me is too good. Kirk Cousins can't move outside of the pocket right now. Chris Jones could have a field day against Kirk Cousins on a 3-step drop back. Give me the Chiefs. Although I do think it'll be closer than you think. What are the Chiefs in that game right now? What are they like?
The Chiefs right now, -3.
Oh, it's only 3. Okay, it's moved down. Yeah, give me the Chiefs. Closer game than maybe. Closer game than I would imagine it to be. Close but Chiefs. It's no other way to put it. Close but Chiefs.
Close but Chiefs. I mean, I already picked my upset with Miami over Seahawks. But right now, the Chiefs, bro, I'm not gonna take this one, man. I was gonna find a way for Atlanta to get this one.
But I'm with Silas.
I like the weapons they have over there. Darnell Mooney's a good addition, but Chris Jones is an absolute monster. He's so unstoppable. You can't stop that guy.
Nope.
So in order to stop him, you got to get rid of the ball quickly. And I don't know if Kirk Cole can pull the trigger quick like that, man.
Oh, another thing, by the way, how about Isaiah Pacheco might miss the whole year?
Yeah, he got a broken fibula, so they brought in Kareem Hunt, but he's not playing this game.
This is interesting.
I don't know who the backup. I forgot who the backup was, but yeah,
they got Samaje Perine is the
Perine and somebody else. There's somebody else.
Steele, Carson Steele.
That's the guy, Carson Steele.
I think he's like a second-year guy. Maybe he might even be a rookie. I don't know. Chiefs offensively, you think the Bills are lacking? I mean, Travis Kelce, the age is showing. Like, sorry, this is not prime Travis Kelce. And then it's Rashee Rice, and then you're hoping you get a gadget play or 2 out of Worthy. This offense is more depleted than I would say the Bills is from a roster perspective.
So are you taking KC?
With all that said, yeah, I'm still taking freaking KC.
All right. I was like, yo, you can pick one or not. Here we go, man. Jacksonville Jaguars against the Bills. I think we can both say, I mean, the Bills are going to take this one. Give me the Bills. I think you'll take the Bills. And last but not least, actually, this might be an interesting game, but I mean, they got the line at Cincinnati -7. And by the way, the line just went down for the Bills. It's over -5 for the Bills. Was it 5.5 or 5?
5.5. It was. Okay, so we're getting a little movement.
Yeah,
I know the sharp bettors like the Jags this week. Just because of the desperation spot, and 5.5 points is a lot in the NFL. I get it. Bengals aren't going to
Commanders at Cincy.
In Cincy, it's a blackout for Cincy, and they're not going 0-3 to a rookie quarterback. So, last week, Cincy was the better team on the football field than the Chiefs, despite losing. And I think that they get their first win of the year against the Commanders on Monday Night Football. But I'm looking forward. Oh, actually, I shouldn't say that. I was going to say I'm looking forward to watching Jaden Daniels, but I'll be watching my Bills drop that Jags ass. So I won't be able to watch much of that. But
and the game will be 7:30 game time.
Bills are 7:30. Bengals and Commanders are 8:15. I hate the doubleheader. If they do a live look in during the Bills game, I'm gonna lose my shit. I'm gonna lose my shit.
Let's take a look. What's going on with Washington? F that. Keep it where it's supposed to be.
There's a reason I have the channel on the channel I have it on. ESPN. Leave it.
Walter says, I'd argue that special teams is the Chiefs' best unit. They don't win the Super Bowl without Butker routine clutch kicks, clinching kicks, and they special teams on turnovers. I mean, listen, 3 phases of the game winning the game, man. That's what it comes down to. By the way, check out this fantasy team that I saw that somebody had, and I'm like, golly, just one of my friends was like, yo, just throw the whole team away. Jordan Love, Raheem Mostert, Kenneth Walker, AJ Brown, Deebo Samuels, Njoku, Cooper Kupp, Saints defense, for crying out loud. That's your starting unit.
That guy's looking forward to 2025 draft already.
You're done. All right, folks. That's it. We picked our games. We're going to go back and look through them and see how we did next Friday. So we're cooking now, folks. So that's it for us. Dude, we just put up. I just did a Z-Bot podcast. I don't know how the hell you got me into this.
3 hours, baby. 3 hours, Rico and Bot on a Friday night. We'll be back with you Monday night. Dun, 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 dun,
it's gonna be good.
Pre-game show. Pierre's got you locked down for the live game show. And then, of course, the best show in the business. I hate to say it, but the Rico and Bot post-game, I'll say it. We got you covered. Post-game Monday night right here. Before we let you go tonight, by the way, have you not downloaded the Autograph app yet? Because if you haven't, I got some questions for you. I'm getting a little sick and tired of having to tell you to download it because you're not taking my word for it. This app, absolutely killer. I use it every single day because it's a one-stop shop for all your Bills, media, and news. It's got the top tweets, top YouTube shows, and podcasts. Ours are loaded up on there right now. If you wanted to, you could watch us on there as we speak. Top articles as well. Everything you're looking for the upcoming game against the Jags and more, it's all on there. And the best part is that you get to earn reward points for just doing what you're already doing, watching us and reading about the Bills. You're already doing it. Get points for it. You can use those points for jerseys, tickets. Super cool idea. We're happy to be partnered with Autograph, and we're happy to recommend the app because it's a lot of fun to use, very informative, and it's also free. So you get all of that for absolutely free. And then, of course,
it's simple. Right
okay, there we are. There's the boys.
I already have my points. I don't know if you guys can see it right now. You can't really quite see it. Got my points up there.
Rico's an autograph. He's an Autograph app millionaire. All he does is walk around and he's like, look at this. Check it out.
And here's what I love about this, man. Like a lot of times you're like, oh, I didn't get my notifications from when you went live. I didn't do this. Listen, man, turn on your notifications. Turn it on. And then you're going to see, the Rico and Bot show is on. Man, turn everything off. Turn on the YouTube. Let's roll.
Can I get my points? I love it. Also on the way out, by the way, we're creeping up on 30K over here at BF. So if you want to help us out towards getting to that, hit that freaking subscribe button on your way out so that you do get those notifications about when we do go live, which, of course, will be live pretty much all day on Monday for you. Like button as well. And then you have that 150% sign-up bonus on BetUS with the promo code YouTube150. That'll also get you 125% bonus on your 2 deposits. After that, that's a Friday night in the books, Rico. What's Walter saying as we wrap up?
Walter saying, "Hey, do we think the Beats got the idea from Rick Allen from Rico and Bot?" I mean, listen, man. When things are like this are innovative, you got the sauce. You got the sauce, baby. Rico and Bot, Rick and Morty.
PB&J, Rick and Morty. What else is good?
Rico and Bot.
Chocolate and
Rico and Bot.
ice cream. I don't know. I'm trying to think of other good combinations. Cheese and hamburgers. You name it, we got it. And we got you covered Monday night. We can't wait to join you then. But we really appreciate you joining us tonight. Enjoy your weekend. A full slate of great football.
Hey.
Stress-free as we go into Monday night. Look forward to seeing you then. Enjoy your Friday evening. Enjoy your weekend, folks. We'll talk to you Monday for Buffalo Bills game day. Can't wait. Much love. And as always,